King Talk. Make sure you guys get them likes up. Also, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you guys click that link into the top of the chat. Get to Atlanta right now. Welcome to the greatest network ever, the Lapeef Network. Let's get these likes up, family. Get these likes up. Appreciate you. Great show ahead. Get your tickets to Atlanta. That link is pinned to the top of the chat and in the description. Oh, Dr. Umar. I see you, Green Gang. I see you. Put a one in the chat if y'all ready. Put a one in the chat if y'all ready. I see them ones. It's almost showtime. Get your popcorn, get your drink. Let's go, King Talk. Get your tickets to Atlanta. It's pinned to the top of the chat. Welcome to King Talk on the Lapeef Network. Let's get these likes up, family. Shout out to the sponsor, Teege Hanley. It's too early, but that's okay. My gym workout was phenomenal. Before I went home, I decided to stop over at my mother's house. I haven't seen my mother in 2 months. I know she's going to be very surprised to see me. I can't wait. What the? I couldn't believe what I was seeing. The first thing I noticed was this person's skin. What is going on? Uncomplicated, untreated skin? Who is this guy? I had to take a step back, but then I realized it was my brother. But look at his skin. Have you guys ever seen anything like that? I had to take a closer look and figure out what was going on. Best believe I crept up on him. Peep this. I'm still looking at his skin, trying to figure out how did we get here. I could do nothing but shake my head. He could definitely use my help. I had to get to the bottom of this. He definitely needed some game about his skin. I'm just staring at it, like looking at it. Come on, bro. I knew what to do. I had to reach in my bag and get that Teege Hanley. Uncomplicated skincare for men. Bro, this is why I'm excited to have Teege Hanley as the sponsor of today's video. They have helped me start and maintain my skincare routine by making the entire process uncomplicated. Honestly, it's the best skincare system for guys like you and me. I recommend you start with their level 1 system, which comes with all the basics. A daily face wash to get rid of the dirt and the grime on your skin, a 2 times per week exfoliating scrub to get rid of the dead skin cells, an AM moisturizer with SPF 20 because you should always be protecting your skin from the sun, and a PM moisturizer to help your skin stay hydrated and healthy throughout the night. My brother was so excited. My favorite part about Teege Hanley is that every box comes with an instruction card that tells you when to use each product, how much to use, and in what order. They really make the process of achieving and maintaining amazing skin easy. Shout out to Teege Hanley. And because Teege Hanley is sponsoring today's video, they're offering my viewers a great deal. Just click the first link in the description, and not only will you get Teege Hanley for the best possible price, but they'll also give you a free gift with your first box. Click that link and get started today for just $30. Feel the Teege. Let the Teege force be with you. All right, it's go time, family. It's go time. What's going on, family? Welcome to King Talking to Lapeef Network. Let me introduce the crew. We got Ricky, we got Trill, Rambo, Rilla, Humble Dad, Rio, Genius, and me, myself, I'm Lapeef J.I. Welcome to King Talking to Lapeef Network. Yeah, let us sit in a little bit. Go ahead and ride it out. We're going to slow walk it. Yeah, let go. What's going on, family? How y'all doing? Y'all quiet? Y'all on me?
Yeah.
Y'all good?
All right, bro.
Everything good, man.
Everything is everything. Everything is everything.
All right, let me find out, y'all. The person that y'all wanted to win didn't win on Saturday.
We called it over here, so y'all know what it is. We called it over here.
Well, I say I was 2 rounds off. Man. 2 rounds off.
Yeah, that was definitely I was glad it lasted some. I was glad I was able to see some. I would be pissed off if I paid a lot of money to go see a fight and then somebody got knocked out in the first round. It happens. I mean, it's what you pay for. You pay for the risk, right?
Yep.
So I wish it would have went a little bit longer. I wish he wasn't pressing the issue so much as he was, as I stated before, because it looked like, he was just too thirsty to try to make something happen. And typically when you like that, guess what? When you're not patient, because Tank was definitely patient. He was waiting. I mean, he took a couple of them, but when I seen him walking back to that locker room, I seen that mark on the right side of his face. I was like, oh yeah, that's the one that caught him right there. Yeah, that's the one that caught him.
That boy ain't had no business in that ring. No business. None whatsoever. No business. Y'all Y'all want to learn about that boxing? Go ahead and subscribe to Ricky Williams Boxing. That's what we do over there. We talk boxing and life.
There you go. That's where you go. You want to hear about boxing. You go right over there to Ricky Boxing because there ain't gonna be no boxing over here.
All right.
Anyhow, welcome to King Talk, family. Make sure you get them likes up. I see Green Gang is in the chat. I do have a link that's pinned to the top right there. That is your access granted to Atlanta. We will be live in Atlanta April 5th and 6th. It's a 2-day event featuring King Talk, a chic critique, keep it funky with logic, and then the main event, just like a box around, we got Lapeef Let's Talk. Really will be there. It don't look like he with us right now. He might be in spirit. I don't know if that's him or if that's Ghost. Anyhow, Mr. James St. Patrick, whenever you want to come back, just let me know. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah. Copy. Okay. Anyhow, let's get these likes up. Also subscribe to the channel. Let's get this show started with our first topic of the night. I'm going to put this thing up. I seen it. It was quite interesting. It's the icebreaker here. Desires make slaves out of kings, and patience makes kings out of slaves. Desire makes slaves out of kings, and patience makes kings out of slaves. When you hear that, what does that mean to you? What are your thoughts about it?
First thing I think about just desires, meaning blind, like superficial urges to go get something. That's how I perceive the desires. And in that case, yeah. It don't matter where you are. We see people fumble bags all the time. We see people that's super talented that go out there and try to pursue something, too thirsty for it, and overextend or do whatever the case may be to fumble the bag. So yeah, patience is everything, man. Sometimes it's just not your time right now. And that'd be hard for a lot of people to understand. You be looking left and looking right and comparing yourself to what this person got or what this person doing, numbers wise or money wise or material wise, and be like, nah, I need to go get it. So then you try to cut corners and shit. And that's where you get in trouble at. Because when you cut corners, whatever you gain on that back end, it ain't gonna be sustainable. So yeah, I agree wholeheartedly, man. Patience is everything.
Agreed, man. I look at it like, I mean, if you think about it and you believe in the Bible, the reason we here now, you know what I'm saying? Eve couldn't she couldn't quell, following somebody or looking past, what the mission was out for. And I think that's what the desires do. A lot of times, I mean, we see it every day now, you know what I'm saying? People work a week for a t-shirt but don't have no house. You know what I mean? They desire, the bag, but you desire a $2,000 bag, but ain't got $2,000, when you should be focusing on other stuff and moving the right way. Take your time, patience, be still sometimes. A lot of times when you're sitting still, you'll get the answer you need. We all should be advancing, but moving ain't advancing sometimes. So, again, patience is a virtue.
As for me, I really think it's just like a play on words. I can't say I agree or disagree with it. And my main reason is this. If desires was replaced with a word like dreams, everybody would go for it. Like, oh, I got a dream to do this. You say, oh, pursue your dreams. But because it says desires, it's like, hold up, make it seem like it's bad. But in all actuality, it's the same thing. If you're not pursuing the desires, what are you working towards? You're just going to work for whatever comes to you instead of going to get what you want. So I can't say I agree with that. Like, I have desires to be better than what I'm going to be right now. But if I don't chase that, I'm just existing. You're not living. So it's okay to have desires, but to be a slave to them means that you got tunnel vision. You're not, open-minded to see things you can't adapt to anything else. So I can't say I agree or disagree with it. I just think they played on words,
Okay. What about you, Rambo? What are your thoughts about it?
Definitely play on words. I'm a big fan of patience. In all honesty, that's the word that stands out to me most. You know what I mean? Like I tell people, sometimes you really got to slow it down. We're so used to just being in a fast pace with everything that we miss certain key components that we need to just settle in. So like, and what I do, I personal train. So I could use that logic as to building muscle or losing weight. It's not going to happen overnight. You could desire it to happen instantly and just think like, okay, it's going to happen for me, but it don't work like that. You got to take your time, follow the steps, and just be patient about it.
Mr. King Rio.
I agree with a little bit of what everyone said so far. I feel like we can be a slave to our goals, so to speak. And with that, if we aren't achieving what we want to achieve on our own fast enough, oftentimes we will pivot, right, and take a different route. And Rome wasn't built in a day. So if we can't, be sturdy and kind of stick with our commitment, stick with the plan, and stay the course, we'll find other ways to get there quicker, which may require us to come under someone else's umbrella or go back to the corporate world or whatever it is it may require, right? And I think we see it every day. So I agree with it. I agree. It's a play on words for sure, but I definitely agree with it.
All right. You got an humble dad?
Well, the definition of desire, it says a strong feeling of wanting to have something or wishing for something to happen, right? And then patience is kind of, taking your time. There's a structure to things that in order to get them accomplished. So if you, based on the definition, desires can be something that you want right now, a microwave type mentality, as opposed to patience, meaning that you have this idea of what it is that you want to accomplish, but you also have a structure in play to make those things happen. And as others have alluded to, that it's not going to happen overnight. Desires seem to be the part of where it wants to happen right now. That's how I would read the statement.
Hey, Rilla, can you hear me?
Yeah. I'm here.
All right, I'll put this up. It's at the bottom right there. But desire makes slaves out of kings and patience make kings out of slaves. What are your thoughts about it?
Man, it sounds good. Sounds good, but unruly and untamed, or desires that are lascivious in nature or nefarious in nature, will make slaves out of kings. But I agree, patience can make kings out of slaves, or at least a disciplined man. I mean, if you biblical, even if you're not a biblical, if you're just a student of scripture or anything like that, when you read the story of David, who essentially was enslaved but was patient, you saw him elevate to second in command in the land through patience. So, the emphasis for me would be on unruly, untamed, nefarious desires can make a slave out of a king, but patience and discipline can definitely make a king out of a slave. I agree with that.
And Trill, you spoke on this? Oh, not sure. You did? Okay. Everybody spoke? Okay. Well, that was the icebreaker, man.
Trill, I ain't finna be like Logic, man. I see my package on the way. I just got the shipping notification, G.
Oh yeah. Yes, sir. It's gonna be there by the end of the week for sure.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right, Trill. All right, Trill. If you're just tuning in to King Talk, make sure you guys get the likes up. Also, subscribe to the channel. Appreciate all the support that's been coming through. I think we do got a couple super chats. Vernell Jackson, hands down the best show on the network. Salute, fellas. Appreciate you. Also, Champ Talk. Love the show, fellas. Keep rocking. And I'm going to have to hit you up, Rick. I boxed for 15 years. I'm going to check you out. There you go. Got that fight talk right there. Make sure you guys get your tickets, man. That link is pinned to the top of the chat. Get your tickets to Atlanta. Again, it's a 2-day event. You don't want to miss this. Shout out to everybody that bought the VIP and early bird specials. Salute to you guys. Definitely showing out. Logic said he promised you guys it's going to be a great experience and a great show. All right, moving on to our next topic of the night. I'm going to talk about men sharing feelings. Men sharing their feelings. And I know we spoke a little bit about this, but it was a different angle, something that I heard, a little video. I'm going to go ahead and play this real quick. While I'm doing this, make sure you guys get the likes up. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel.
often share their feelings because they end up just upsetting their woman.
Sharing your feelings is not upsetting your woman, but only sharing your emotions in response to hers might be. A lot of you choose not to say how you're feeling when you feel it, and then you blame your partner for what you've chosen to repress. But that lid always comes off as soon as you feel criticized by her attempt to communicate her own feelings, and it instantly becomes a fight. But screaming insults is not sharing your feelings, because you're not doing it to share your feelings. You're doing it to try and negate hers. And that doesn't benefit a relationship, because you're not using your feelings as tools, you're using them as daggers. So you also have to examine how you're sharing your feelings. Because a lot of times you don't say, let me tell you how I'm feeling. You say, let me tell you why you're wrong. So she's not upset that you're sharing your feelings. She's upset that you only want to talk about them in the moment she needs you to listen.
Interesting. Yeah, no.
Cap. Sound like cap to me, if I'm gonna be honest here. I think I've said it repeatedly, men could whisper our feelings. But if she's the culprit, she's gonna take it the same way. So we could put it in a nice tone, we could handle it with kid gloves, we could express our feelings all the time about everything else, and she'll be wide open to hear that. In terms of, job issues or beef with the homies or family issues, whatever the case may be, she'll be wide open to hear that, sure. But when our feelings come to, again, point the finger at something that she's not doing, regardless of how much we communicate those other feelings, she's gonna take it the same way. So, I think it's a situation where women really got to sit down and listen. It's too many men saying the same thing, and when too many men are saying the same thing, it's just it's something to it. It's something to it, and women just have an issue with just taking criticism. That's just what it is, and regardless of whether it's from us or whether it's from their friends or whether it's from their family. I know women that done cut off family members because they were telling them something that they didn't want to hear. You know what I'm saying? So it's not a how men are communicating it issue. It's a women's refusal to accept it issue. So that's cap.
Yeah, it sound like a bunch of womanese to me, bro. That's what it sounds like. Hey, just say what the problem is. You was arguing, and now that he expressing his feelings in an argument because it don't come off the way you like it. That's not sharing his feelings.
I mean, go ahead. My bad, brother. Go ahead.
It's like, hey, man, look, I understand, man. I understand. Right? But we talked about this, and I seen this on Trill Podcast too, man. Like when we do up and up, man, y'all, when we talked about this before on King Talk, man, like they forgive her. They forgive her, but they damn sure don't forget it, bro. Like they'll bring out the deepest, darkest secrets in an argument, bro, that you discuss in confidence with her, bro, and stab you in a jugular with it. And I don't care if she a bad woman, good woman. Hey, all of them do it, man. If they hurt enough, or they feel threatened enough, or feel insecure enough in that moment, feel like you criticizing them or trying to get leverage in a conversation or argument, man. It's just what it is, man. Like I said before, the game will get right when y'all get right. Until then, the game is what it is.
I mean, I think it's like a catch-22. I mean, like you want to be able to share your feelings with your partner, but you also don't want to be reprised for it. Like I want to be able to tell you such and such, you did such and such, and made me feel this kind of way. But I think that women think they want to be our therapist, but you can't be my therapist and be my woman. You can't hear what's going on with me and try to fix it and then try to console me in a different kind of way. It doesn't work that way. You're going to insert your bias. You're going to insert your feelings in regards to it rather than looking at it from the outside looking in. Also, everybody don't want honesty. They want compliance and agreement. They want to be pacified. So if I say, yo, you're doing this wrong, they don't want to say, okay, what can I do to fix it? It's, why is it wrong? What did I do wrong? What do you mean it's wrong? And then you do it then, rather than just listening. And they feel like we're going to throw it in their face as an insult. And we feel like as men, we get vulnerable. And the first thing we're going to do is when they get mad is expose those vulnerabilities. So we shut down. Like, why would I subject myself to this if I know you're going to do this? And then we're taught as men not to show certain feelings. We grow up saying, oh, you got to be strong. You got to be this. You can't be weak. You got to show them. You got to endure. Then you go through 18, 20 years of that, and you got a woman saying it's okay to show your feelings, then you might open up, and then she throw it in your face. Then you like they're reinforcing that bad advice you got for 18 years. So it's just like a catch-22. And you do need to, express your feelings, but maybe not to your partner all the time, especially if it's in regards to your partner. It's never going to end well. Unless it's something dire that's going to affect their health or something like that. Some things you need to speak to somebody else about. I mean, you can't always speak to your partner. They can't be a therapist in your lover. It doesn't work that way.
I feel like the lady had an attitude. It's an echo on here, JR. I feel like the lady had an attitude that she was giving us, or men rather, instructions on how to submit our feelings for their review. And I think that's an example of the response we get when we make those attempts. I mean, that was just a prime example. And rather than have to go through all of that, sometimes you just rather not.
Okay. Yeah, she just really she contradicted herself, because that sounded like somebody had shared their feelings, and that was her response to them sharing their feelings. Right. And so as a result, she's saying, I don't like how you shared your feelings. You should share them like this. When you should just accept how I share my feelings, and we can talk about what it is that I'm saying, as opposed to how I said it. Right. And so because men talk in a certain way, some women don't understand that when we're discussing a particular topic and we are yelling, if that's the case, and when we're sharing our expressing our feelings, and we've reached a level of not most men, not I won't say all men, but have reached a level of not being able to get through to you what it is that we want to say, and that we feel like you're not listening. So if we feel like you're not listening, then what's the point of sharing our feelings? And then if we have to provide context every time we provide what our feelings are, then this is just a elongated conversation. So I would say that for her, she would just, or any woman that thinks like that, they should just accept what the man is saying. However he's saying it, of course, you don't want to be rude when you're talking to your woman, but sometimes that happens. Think about what it is that he's saying and address the issue of what is the conversation. That's what I would say to it.
What's your thoughts about it, Rambo?
That right there, and knowing your partner triggers, man. Everything comes down to tone with me. So I'm a person that's easy to talk to. If it's on my mind, I'm going to say it, but it's about how you deliver that message. Like, me and my woman can't go back and forth with an aggressive manner. It's never going to end well there. I'm a listen to understand, and I'm going to reply. If you're not feeling my reply, I'm going to still try to understand why you're not getting it the way I'm trying to deliver it. But nine out of 10 times, I'm going to have that conversation with myself first, and then I'm going to practice it and preach it to her.
Gotcha.
Rambo, you practice that like while you're talking to her?
Nah, beforehand. Before I even bring up my issue with her, I'm going to have that conversation with myself. Like, should I feel this way about this? And how should I deliver it to her so she knows, like, okay, I'm not responding to anything out of a bad place. I just want some understanding, but I also want you to see where I'm coming from. You can't force it on them, because they're going to still react how they want to react. So it's just, you know what I mean? I can't do the back and forth. Once the tone is good for me, I understand it. I'm good on that.
So how do you do it? Like, I can get that particular point. Like, if I have an issue or concern, I can think about what it is that I want to say, and then be able to say, okay, will this make sense to her? Is my delivery going to be right? But what about in the midst of a conversation, and there is all of a sudden a disagreement, and there's a discourse that takes place? Like, how would you be able to say, okay, this is how would you run that through the cycle of your process then?
All right. So, like an example, I want some steak and she made chicken, right? I'm gonna be like, yo, babe, I didn't want that really and stuff. So she'll come, well, you're gonna eat what I made, or don't eat at all. So in that moment, I'm gonna take the step back and say, like, okay, that tone right there is pretty aggressive for something that I just verbally expressed, like, I don't want to eat that. So now if the tone comes off aggressive to me, I'm gonna get a little defensive, but I'm gonna tell myself, like, okay, you know what? It's a reason that she's acting this way right now, or responding this way. Let me see. Did I come off wrong when I said it? You know what I mean? Like, I have no problem checking myself too. Like, never know.
All right. I see. Check your hair, Ricky. What's going on, bro?
I'm just saying, in most cases, shout out to my boy Rambo, but that's one way like a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? One way street. You know what I'm saying? That's a one way street. You know what I'm saying? When again, this is my experience, right? When it come to trying to correct, you know what I'm saying, or like he said, hey, you know what I'm saying, I'm not feeling that, or hey, I'm just letting you know, right? The next thing that come out is the whip. You know what I'm saying? That whip. You know, death by 1,000 cuts, most chances. So I hear what he's saying, but I mean, in my experience, right, it usually don't happen to that point, right? Unless I'm trying to correct. You know what I mean? If it's a problem, I'm just being honest. If it was a problem and my lady said something and she came at me, I ain't yelling or nothing. I'm like, hey, what's up? What's good? Well, let's talk about it. What's the problem? You know what I mean? So again, just my 2 cents.
I just want to know, like, why is it always our expression that got to be policed, or they got to be reviewed, or they got to be?
I ain't answer yet, man. Stop stealing my thunder, man.
Damn, my bad. You got it.
That's that light skinnedness, man.
No, you just been on delay, and we ain't knowing when you going.
Hey, man, listen. I told you. I said it's E-Ray, man.
Pay your cable bill, ladies and gentlemen. That's all I got to say. Pay your internet bill, or you'll be looking like Rilla.
Upgrade.
Yeah. Or you can go be a contractor for Comcast and get out there and help them with whatever work they trying to do out here while they're trying to get all this stuff right. I don't know what they do. Anyway, when I was listening, that's the first thing I was thinking about. Trill is like, and it's crazy because I think since Sunday I've been having a whole bunch of conversations around, and everything comes out like tone policing, and I get it. Leaders lead. Everything rises and falls on leadership. So what Rambo is saying in terms of self-inventory, self-count, I agree and I understand that. But then when the rubber meets the road and it's time for you ladies to take account, why is it always the whataboutisms on what the man need to do? It sounds exactly like, I think Humble Dad was saying. Sound like she had just got into an argument. Somebody may have expressed their feeling and she was projecting. But you didn't say it like this. So it sounds like what she said, I guess to the right person, could sound good, but to me it came off as tone policing. And you know, I know that we have plenty of conversations about what to share and what not to share with your woman. So I'm not one of those dudes that's like, don't ever share any feelings or emotions with your woman. I think you do it with balance. I think obviously in extreme situations you should do it. I think as a man you should be articulate enough to say what it is that you're dealing with, what you need from her, or whatever that looks like. Like it should never be coming off in an argument that this is her first time hearing this. Like the first time she's hearing about something is in the argument, then you are. But at the same time, when I'm saying what I'm saying, I'm saying what I'm saying. I ain't finna be no, well, you didn't say it this way, or like it is what it is. Like we could talk about whatever, but what we're not finna do is the whataboutisms. You know, and I told y'all I got PTSD. I can't do all that yelling, man. Don't do all that yelling, man. Don't do all that yelling around me, man. I get nervous.
All right, Trey, what was you about to ready to say?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think really just covered it, man. I think, you know, why is it always us that has to make the adjustment in terms of delivery? When have you ever, like, anytime you try to even tell your girl, if y'all in an argument or debate or whatever, and you say, hey, calm down. Everybody on this panel can think immediately how that would go, right? What do you mean calm down? Don't tell me how to talk. I can. So it's like, you know, but again, when it's us, it's like, okay, well, I need you to deliver it this way and that way for me to get it. No. If we gonna have, you know, tone limits or boundaries or whatever, it needs to be equal across the board. So you don't get to just say whatever the hell you want to say, however you want to say it, screaming at the top of your lungs, and then my voice raised 2 octaves, and then stop yelling at me. You've been yelling for 30 minutes. I raised my voice for 2 seconds and then stop yelling at me. So, you know, again, bro, like it got to be equal across the board. And that's why most men, we just shut down because it's just like this shit makes 0 sense. There's no logic to this at all. You are telling me to deliver it to you one way. I try to deliver it that way. You got an issue with it. Even if you accept it, we got to hear about it going forward. Why can't it just be adjusted and we drop it right there? Like when it's us. You tell us to do something. Oh, you're not being romantic enough. Okay, so now we planning trips, planning dinners. planning all type of shit, and it's dropped right there. We ain't bringing it up. Oh, what shit? Why don't you ask such and such to be romantic for you? Why don't, if you want me to be catered to you, why don't you call your daddy to do that? Your daddy, you call him everything else, pay all your bills. Why don't you call him to do that too? That's what women do. If you could, just like I think Rambo was talking about cooking, let her bring that steak or that chicken or whatever it is to the table, and you say, baby, I don't know, man. This ain't hitting like it's supposed to be hitting, man. I don't know. She goes, well, why don't you have your mama cook for you? You know what? You ain't got to eat it all. You can just have whatever. Just go get you something. Why it got to be that, bro? Why it can't just be, okay, well, baby, how can I fix it? What did I do wrong? Whatever. Like, it's just interesting to me. I hear women say all the time, I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect. But what have you ever heard a woman admit to doing wrong specifically? And I'll just leave that there.
Yeah, I did want to speak on that. So should that be a deal breaker? If you are dating out there, right? Let's say you're a single man, you're out there dating, and you recognize that a woman, she uses certain tones with you. Would you say that's a deal breaker? Would you still pursue and feel as though that you can correct that within a relationship?
I'm saying you will be single for the rest of your life.
I was just about to say.
I mean, I won't say it's a deal breaker, but a conversation needs to be had. Like, I'm real big on intention and tone. Like, so if I say something to you, and I'm also big on like, if I have a problem, I'm not going to bring a problem to you with no suggestion on how we can change this problem. I'm not going to say fix, it might not be broke, but how we can change it. And your tone is very big, so I feel like that's respect. I'm going to come to you with a very even tone. I'm going to try to come void of emotion. And if you can't reciprocate that, you get a conversation like, yo, you're not going to talk to me in this kind of way, maybe we can communicate better. If it doesn't happen after that, you could go your way, because at this age, who's going through all those headaches arguing because you don't like the way I said something? As long as it wasn't disrespectful, as long as it wasn't out of, discontent from my heart, just accept what I'm saying, especially if I'm telling you why I'm saying it and what we can do to change it. This is my suggestion. You can counter that suggestion. You can even say, you know what, I don't agree. You don't have to agree. Just accept what I said, and we can go further. Now, if certain changes aren't made, you can go your way and I go my way. But nothing is really a deal breaker unless she's like blatant disrespectful. Everything can be negotiated and worked out if you can communicate properly.
I'm gonna go deal breaker. Tone is under the umbrella of respect and disrespect. So once I feel like I'm disrespected under that tone, I can't get past that. Deal breaker.
Like, not to be rude, but that's with anybody. Like, that's a you problem. Like, you might not like somebody's tone. Like, I was always told by like older people, like, you're not responsible for how people feel about what you say. You're responsible how you say it. So if I come to you and I say, like, you know what, you did this wrong, I don't like it, maybe you should change it. In your mind, you might not like my tone, but deep down, you might not like just what I said. And then you're gonna blame it on my tone because I wasn't trying to comfort you. So a lot of times it'd be us and our feelings, and we blame it on, oh, you said this, I don't like how you said it, but really, you don't like what they said, and you just have a hard time accepting it. That's men and women. And I've learned that just dealing with different people, man. Like, you say certain things, like, if you don't agree with them or if you don't pacify them, they take it as a attack. They can't take criticism. So now I don't like how you said that. I don't like what you said. You violated. You a hater. I don't know you to hate. Why? I just don't agree. I don't like what you said. But how you said it, people just don't know how to communicate these days. That's my opinion.
Well, I'm gonna say in the confines in the space of a relationship, especially knowing what I know now, and I wish I knew this 20 something years ago. That's a deal breaker, Joe. Because you really setting yourself up. What's that verse, Humble Dad, that say it's better to live on the roof than with a contentious woman or something like that? Like,
it's in Proverbs. I'm not sure.
Yeah, we get these glimpses of who you really are. Like, yeah, that tone matters, bro. Because if she bucking and snappy and jazzy and snazzy, man, when you giving her proper instruction. And she like, that's an indication that she gonna buck at whatever you laying down. And I just at this age, man, and what I know, man, it's just a recipe for disaster, in my opinion. So I'm definitely teaching my boys, like, that's a deal breaker. You know what I'm saying? Because yeah, they women have a tendency to, at times when they're projecting or when they're offended or when they're upset and angry, they use those words as daggers. And one of the first things they're looking at is they're gonna do is address you with a certain tone to try and emasculate you, minimize you, and belittle you. And you know, I'm just not on that type of time. So yeah, that's a deal breaker for me, man.
And that scripture is Proverbs 21. It says it's better to dwell in the corner of the housetop than with a contentious woman in the wide house.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's more of a young thing in terms of giving grace for that type of shit. When you get older, you get 30 plus, and you got assets and things to lose, and you start really understanding the importance of peace of mind. There is no grace for that. This is a situation where every pass that you give somebody, you enable them to continue that behavior. So it'll be a situation, hypothetically, if I'm single and I run into a woman and she's speaking to me in a tone in which I don't like, I'm going to check her on it. Sure. But if it happens again, I'm done. There is no grace. There is no, okay, work with me. It's not, that change can't be made. No, yes, it can. It can be made immediately. It's a choice because men do it all the time because men are aware of whatever we say, it's going to cut in terms of criticism, especially when we mad. And we know that it's not just going to end right there. We're going to have to hear about it forever. So knowing that, a lot of us in the moment, we'd be mad as hell. She been said something super disrespectful and we'll stop, breathe, may walk out the house, may just be like, you know what, you got it. Let me go to another room. But we don't just fly off the handle and then tie it to, okay, well, I was just emotional. You know how I get when I'm emotional. No, men don't do that. So if we able to have that same restraint, you are adult, just like we are adult. I need that same type of restraint. And if you can't do that, then you're just not for me. Now, there's going to be dudes out there that's going to accept that, and good luck going to find them. I'm not one of them at this age. So, no.
Could you imagine a dude saying, listen, I was just in my feelings, and that's how I addressed you. And so if you could forgive me for how I addressed you because of my feelings, I would appreciate it. Like that that's not going to work well. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's important for us to be very aware of what it is that we're going to say before we say it and having an idea of what the outcome is going to be before we say it. Because if we say, well, it was our emotions, then we get categorized as you being too emotional, right? So we don't have that leeway. So it's definitely important for us to be able to think about what it is that we got to say. But at the same time, it's important for them to do that as well and not fly off the handle and say, well, I was just being emotional, right? It works both ways.
And I'm going to say this, just be you, man. Like, I hate tone police. I'm being honest with you, bro. Sometimes a stern voice is required. Sometimes you got to yell at a person. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just weird, man. Like, you shouldn't have to fit the way you communicate for other people to understand. And either they understand it or not. I understand we all human and we want to be relative and get along, man. But sometimes some things just got to be said. And it don't matter if you yell it or whisper it. If they don't like it, it's gonna hit the same way. This not no safe space. I'm feeling attacked. This not no safe space.
I want to put a scenario out there. So let's just say she's not a girlfriend. Let's just say that you weren't really on your purpose when you got married and then you leveled up, right? And you married a modern woman. And so she's been using this tone. And now we got these spaces, the Kevin Samuels, the Lapeef Let's Talks, the Crew Seasons, and so forth. And you've been out there getting game. So now you are acknowledging that the whole entire time this woman has been using a tone. And I don't want to accept that. How do you manage that? Because if a girlfriend, you would just leave. You just walk away, right? But let's say you got time invested in that and you was unaware that this is not the way that women should be with men. She shouldn't be unruly. So how do you respond to that?
I would say the conversation got to be had first, because again, at that point, you done dug yourself a ditch. I mean, out of ignorance, sure, but you done dug yourself a ditch, and that's what I mean by enabling behavior. Every time you let something slide, that creates a new normal in a relationship. So if y'all been married 5-10 years and you've been letting it cook, then you'll get to year 11 and now you got an issue with it because you done got this game that JR talking about. you got to give her way more grace than you would do, if it was the beginning of the situation. So conversation need to be had, one, relationship counseling need to be had, two, and then get that person, a legitimate amount of time, decent amount of time. That's going to vary depending on the man and, his patience level and how fed up he is with it. But I would say just give him a decent amount of grace and make sure you go through all of the steps before you just file for divorce. Now, if you go through all the steps and they don't want to change, then we got to do what we got to do. But I'm not about to, spend the next 30 years of my life miserable because I spent the last 10 years of it wrong. That's just how I feel.
One thing is that I've noticed with women tend to act more within masculine energy when we lack in masculine energy. Like, so if you dealing with a woman, let's say this is your woman, you met her, right? Like how you said, you wasn't on your grind, you wasn't on your pivot, and she holding everything down. She the breadwinner. So because you lacked that masculine energy, she had to pick up that masculine energy because she didn't feel protected. She had to be the provider. She had to be the protector, whatever. But now when you get there on the even term, she just doesn't release that masculine energy just all willy-nilly right there because she still has to learn to trust you. So now you level up. But she's like, okay, you here now, but I've been here. Now it's like you had to catch something like, do I let her keep trying to play me like I'm a chump? Nah, I ain't no chump. I'm up now, right? But your track record don't speak for itself and all that other stuff. So like my man said, like Trill said, you might have to give her some grace because for them years, she held it down. So she's thinking like, I'm the boss. I paid the cost to be the boss. I'm the boss. This is how it's happened. When it shouldn't be like that. Like if she could wait 10 years for you to get your level up, she should also have some compassion to see that, okay, I've seen your growth and I'm gonna step back to allow you to operate in your growth. If she can't see that, that's a different conversation. Now, I mean, marriage, to be honest, that's just legal. If they ain't for you, they ain't for you. You might have to walk away from it for your own sanity, on your own health. You might want to walk away from it, but definitely conversation may need to be had. You need to be honest about your feelings. A lot of us are not honest about how we feel because we feel we're going to be judged or we feel what's going to happen. Nah, but you got to say how you feel because if you don't say how you feel, how is the person going to know? Like they're not mind readers. You don't want to be asked to be a mind reader, so you have to give that same, courtesy. Like, yo, this is how I feel. This needs to change. This was like this 10 years ago. This is not 10 years ago. This is where it is now. And this is where we go further. What's gonna happen? What's up? And then have that conversation. Be transparent. We go from there.
Yeah, I think the first question is she even worth the effort? Is it even worth your time, right? And ain't this kind of an oxymoron? You know what I'm saying? Seeing how if a woman been with you and all of a sudden you want to run in your masculine and you handling things the way you supposed to be handling shit and she just fall in line. Ain't that what everybody be saying? Right? So a conversation shouldn't have to be had with an alpha, right? It should just happen. If she paying attention and she hypergamous, you know what I'm saying? She should just slide into place. Nah, bro. It's more than that.
Man, we have been rocking with each other so long. We know we're doing each other's trolling. That's crazy.
One thing I'm gonna say for me is, and this is one thing I just recommend, people gotta do what works for them in their relationships. But I'll say for me, you could be passionate, you could be hurt, and that can cause your tone, you know what I mean, to come across a certain way. That doesn't bother me. What bothers me is what you're saying. And is what you're saying disrespectful? It goes back to that thing, treat me how you want to be treated. Or because I'm the type of person, I'm going to treat you how I want to be treated. And you got to be careful with the tone that you set in your relationship when it comes to that. If you get upset, you start calling her out her name or talking about her family members and different things like that, you better be prepared for that being thrown back your way. If you're the type that where you're going to feel, extremely disrespected if she talks to you that way, then it will behoove you not to do that. I'm the type of person I will feel extremely disrespected if any person, period, calls me out of my name, talks about my mother, anything like that. That's just, I can't. Deal breaker. Big problem, right? but you're screaming because you're upset, passionate, or you're emotional that time of the month, whatever it may be, I can handle that as a man. Just make sure that what you're saying is respectful. You know what I mean? Don't you getting your point across doesn't require you to disrespect me. So that's just my take on that.
And that's what's interesting about what Rambo and Genius said. They talked about that tone did matter. And see, I said that, you need to pay attention to the context of what it is that they're saying. I think about it like this in sports. I mean, I had coaches that yelled at me, right? And I also had coaches that were very even tone and when they communicated to me. But the objective was to pay attention to what it is that they were saying. Because if I just said, your tone is awful, you know what I'm saying? So I ain't gonna run this play. You know what I mean? Like, what sense does that make? Right? So in a relationship, especially in a marriage, there are going to be times where there may be yelling going on, but is there a justifiable yelling? Like, did I do something to her where she has, like, King Rio says, and she is at a level and point of like, I don't know what's going on with you? Because this happened to me before where I've said something crazy and she's off the handle, and I got to think, okay, did I cause this? Right? I can't just be like, oh, okay, your tone, so I'm not gonna listen to what you're saying. Right? So that's what I'm saying. That's why I said that I don't really necessarily want to pay attention to tone unless it is disrespectful, like King Rio was saying. So that's why you don't want to necessarily be a deal breaker. You got to pay attention to the context in which people are communicating, right? Because when y'all hear Ricky go off, we haven't asked a subject line yet for him to go off on, right? However, when he gets to that point, you should be just paying attention to what he's saying, not about the passion in which he's saying it, because you just say, well, he's passionate about what he's saying, so I'm just not going to listen to him. You may miss some nugget that you needed. Shout out to Ricky.
Yeah. Anybody else want to go ahead,
I
Rambo?
think Trill gave us game on this one, man. Everything he says, how you program these women, because you put them on that certain pedestal, and then when they get there, they don't want to come down after a certain while. It's going to be hard to really, really like get your point across to them and whatnot. Salute to you for that one, Trill.
It's like turning a cruise ship around. You know what I'm saying? It's like turning a cruise ship around.
Yeah. If you guys just tune in to King Talk, make sure you guys get the likes up. Also, subscribe to the channel. Chicago Gorilla, you there? I don't know what's going on with that. We are live in Atlanta, August 5th and 6th, 2-day event. That link is pinned to the top of the chat, so make sure you guys go ahead and click that link. Come on out and kick it with us, man. We got a lot of things that's happening that weekend. The Lapeef experience is taking over Atlanta. Let's move on to our next topic.
Hey, we're not gonna get the hoop either. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because I know a couple people running from your boy. I don't understand what that's about.
I don't have no problem hooping. We could probably
listen. They got a 24-hour gym. I'm just saying.
Yeah, see, we want to stay longer or get there earlier. We're not gonna be able to squeeze it in on Friday and Saturday. So
that's a bit. I just don't want no excuses. That's all I'm saying.
You must be talking. You must be talking to Trill.
I want y'all to remember all this talking, man.
I ain't saying no names, man. But you can check the tape.
But look though, Logic was talking wild too last time. Well, I want everybody remember all this talking. We're gonna see.
You know what's crazy is that people that used to know how to hoop and then they get out there and they be out of shape. I'd be like, man, what the hell happened? I'm like, this motherfucker huffing and puffing, he cherry picking like, man, guys, you gotta stay in shape, man. You gotta be able to run up and down the court. You can't be trying to run away from the full court press. I mean the full court. All right, let's move on to our next topic. I'm gonna play a clip for you guys. Let me see. Share video. Here we go.
Read the male was created by God to create what he wants. The woman you're looking for, brother, doesn't exist. She's in your head. Your job is to take the raw material you married and cultivate it into the woman in your head. Too much for you.
I see Rio smiling, man. So according to him, you got to take the raw goods and you gotta, I guess you gotta groom her, right? Is that what he's saying?
In a nutshell, yeah.
Okay. So what do you guys thoughts about that? Because we did speak about seeing things on the front end and saying like, you know what, I'm not gonna tolerate that. But this guy's saying if you see a woman you like and she's not all the way right, then you gotta groom her to be the woman, the wife that you would like her to be.
That's not what he's saying.
That's not what he's saying.
Nah,
Okay.
no. No.
Okay.
Right.
What he saying?
This is why shout out to the Godfather. You know what I'm saying? Advocate it. Ladies get married early. Right? Don't be out there jumping from soul to soul on pole to pole, right? Being different with dudes because you get, no matter what y'all say, y'all take a little bit of dude with y'all. We talked about this on the ladies channel, bro. Y'all receptacles. Right? Like I'm trying to, this is where the game all messed up. Y'all take in, we put out. Right? So every dude y'all with, y'all carry a little bit with them, right? Shout out to that boy Logic too. You know, yo, Gary, I was doing, yeah, man. That's why you want to get your girl out the gate, get her early, so that way y'all can cultivate a relationship, so you can cultivate her to what you expect out of a wife or a helpmeet, right? But when you get these ladies and they get a little bit down the line or a lot down the line, and they done had their phase, right? They done had their phase and they done had this man and they got a child by this man and that man, right? You picking up all that, unfortunately, is simply what it is, ladies, baggage, right? And then no matter what, she not going to be the woman that she would have been if y'all would have started from gate and built each other into a relationship, / marriage, so forth and so on. That's just the way it works.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say that whole molding situation. I'm again age. How old are we? It's very very important here. If I'm meeting a woman at 32, I'm not molding the damn thing. I need finished product or close to when I meet you in terms of what our beliefs are from a foundational perspective, non-negotiables, what we value, tone, delivery, how we talk to each other, different things like that. I need all of those things to be checked off when I meet you. I have I already have a daughter. I have zero interest in raising a grown woman. So no, do the self work that you need to do, and that way you can come to the relationship as finished product or close to, and then we can rock. But if y'all 18, 19, then that's something different. Then y'all gonna essentially grow up together, which is how, me and my wife's situation. We met when we was super, super young. So we done been together all this time. We grew into the people that we needed to be. But even still, at the beginning of that, she had all of my non-negotiables checked off from a foundational perspective, values, different things like that. How thirsty she was for attention, how she dressed, how she carried herself, her aura. Is she all out in the streets doing all type of shit? Or is she focused on getting a degree and a career and leaving this hood that we both come from? Like those things were important to me, and she checked off all those boxes. So now it's like, okay, now I'm willing to work and we can grow together because we damn near already aligned. But to meet somebody who is not or doesn't have the foundational shit that I require and to try to mold them is a concept that just goes above my head. No, ma'am. No, sir. Like I said, I have a daughter already. I have zero interest in raising a grown woman.
I would say that a dope dude could probably not mold, but definitely influence a woman that he's interested in. Meaning, there are some things that a woman would change about herself if she's into you because of who you are as an individual. And I've seen that happen on multiple occasions where because of how the guy is moving, the woman wants to be with him. So she changes or she adjusts how she moves or what she wears or how she talks, the friends that she may be around. So not necessarily molding into the woman you want her to be, but definitely influencing her in how you move. So that's what I would say as far as that. And then, that dude right there, he be saying stuff all the time just to get the crowd going. Because that really doesn't make sense to say, well, she doesn't exist. So you're telling me you just go find somebody that's pretty? Like what are you going to go look for to be molded? Right? You're just gonna go get a piece of clay and just go to work. Well, that's not how women are, right? They have other things that make them who they are and how their background, whatever it is, that are going to determine what it is that you can say and what you can't say, how you can do and what you can do, or can and can't do with them. So his I would like to have heard everything else what he said, but just in a small clip of what he's saying doesn't really make sense to say that she doesn't exist altogether when you got to be starting from somewhere to even get to the point of wanting to influence this woman.
Yeah, definitely big on the influence and not molding, man. You get to a certain point in your life and a certain age where it's like you playing the start over game, and then you're trying to look for something totally new, or yo, babe, do it this way, or look, do it that way. Like, nah, I can't do that much dictation to a woman to get that point across and stuff like that. So influence, yeah, like yo, we could definitely level up in these aspects, communication, the way we live, but molding is such a big step to do, man. Like when you 16, 17, yeah, you want to figure that part out, but 30 on plus, it's not going to work out. That's a lot of effort.
Yeah, I think people get out there and say a lot of things, but we don't really have any evidence that what he's saying is something that he's practicing that has been successful for him. I remember one thing that I believe it was Trill said it, and he was one of the people that was married early or earlier on, was find somebody that you like. If you like that person, you're not really thinking about how you have to mold them. Ideally, you're hopeful that what you know about this person and what's attracting you to them is going to work out and you're going to be compatible and you'll grow together, right? Instead of one person trying to mold somebody they met into the woman of their dreams. I think that's not realistic. That's not realistic because that person can't even be their authentic self. They're trying to be who you want them to be. That's crazy.
And real quick, those people are going to eventually revert back to what they're comfortable with. That's one thing about acting, right? A lot of us can act. A lot of us go in job interviews and act in terms of our qualifications for the job and different things that we can bring to the table. But when we get into that workforce, once we get the job and they get to paying us, your real traits are gonna come out. Your real habits are gonna come out. You're not wearing that 3-piece suit with that tie all the way up to the neck like you did on the interview. No, I'm gonna revert back to what I'm comfortable being. Right. So that's what I feel like a lot of people try to do in terms of molding somebody, and then they be flabbergasted when this person goes right back to what they comfortable doing. No, that especially at our age. Again, I'm speaking for the 30 and up. Young people is a different discussion. But 30 and up, you pretty much are who you are at that point. Now you may make some minor changes here there, and I call it the buying a car theory. If I go buy a car, I want a car that's already running. If I'm paying my money and I'm making this 30, 40, 50-year investment that everybody intends or aspires to make in terms of picking a partner, I don't want to buy the car and then have to build the engine from the ground. That makes no sense to me. That's not my responsibility. My responsibility is to change a tire if it go flat. My responsibility is to fix that windshield if it get cracked. The light go out, change the bulb. Minor adjustments, but not foundational adjustments. If I have to create your foundation for you, that's a problem. And I have zero interest in doing that.
Right, and I agree with the analogy, but I'm not even saying that. I don't look at it like that, and I'm sorry and I apologize if I came off like that. But what I'm saying as far as mold, exactly what Trill said. Yeah, you got your stuff together, but when you get with me, you know what I'm saying. We need to change that stereo. We need to get some better wheels. We need to change the color in this interior a little bit to fit my liking, right? And I think if I'm being honest, both partners do that. You know what I mean? To me, I look at it as let me say this. I look at it as just saying being in tune with your partner. That's all I got on that.
And I feel that too, Rick. I just feel you got to know what you're dealing with and be realistic with yourself. Don't go get you a Honda and say you're going to pimp it out until it's a Corvette. You know what I mean? Like you got to know what it is, and that's something where we got to be responsible with our own feelings because sometimes, you fall for the wrong thing. You know, you have a paid escort, and then you finally decide, listen, I'm in love with her. And I got enough money to take care of the both of us. Let me pull you in out of the rain and I'm gonna make you my wife. Nah, you know she is what she is. It's not the money. It's not the money. She is what she is. We grew up knowing that saying, don't try to turn a hoe into a housewife. Don't.
They
Don't.
made a movie about it though, King Rio.
Yeah, but you're creatives. You know what I mean? Creatives. Yeah. Yeah. We can imagine, but in reality, don't do that to yourself. You know what I mean? Like somebody just said here, she will revert back to who she truly is.
And
So
that person she truly is, she'll be a person you accept with all their flaws and all. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
again, this gets back to what you choosing at the end of the day, just like what Rio said, man. You should be out here moving intentional, right?
yeah,
A lot of this stuff that people complain about is honestly because y'all ain't trying to settle down and y'all wondering why one relationship ain't working and this relationship ain't working. Nah, man. If you spend it and like I hate that I really starting to hate the hypothetical questions like what this partner, why you with all these partners, bro? Right? If you giving that lady your time and your energy and your effort and vice versa, that should be somebody you want to be with in the long haul, right? Y'all can't sit up there and tell me y'all trying to be with somebody consistent and you got 20 y'all know what I'm talking about.
I look at it like this. You can't change nobody. If they don't want to change, they're not going to change. That's just the way life is. Um, and even if they want to change, they're not going to change until they're ready. So that molding stuff don't work. Like you can, if they're willing to learn, you can educate them on certain things. You can point out why certain things should change. But if they're not ready or they're not willing, it's not going to happen. So trying to mold it is just wasting your time. And why would you be with somebody that you feel you got to put so much work into to be who you want to be? Like, why would you choose somebody like that? You should know within the first couple of months if this somebody you want to invest all your lifetime in, whatever. Like, why would you get somebody that you're like, oh man, you do that with houses because you plan on getting rid of the house eventually. You do that with cars if you plan on selling it. You don't do that with somebody you're going to invest your energy into. Energy and time is some things you can't get back. You lose energy, you make some new energy. But the energy you lost is lost. And to be honest, energy isn't really never lost anyway, just displaced. So you put your energy into that, it's somewhere else. You gave that energy away, and you may not even, bear no fruit from that. So you should definitely invest where your heart is at. I don't really go by that. Can't change a whole entire housewife. I don't see some things. I just turned 40, and I was in the military. I done seen some things all over the world. People change when they feel the need to change. It's not that they are you are. Some people don't even know who they are. They're just going through the motion trying to find out who they are. And when they're trying to find out who they are, they're making mistakes. These are all learning curves. And you might be on that learning curve for them. And it may be your job to show them, like, okay, you did it like this, maybe you should do it like that. But you might not be a permanent fixture. Reasons and seasons. You might be there just to educate them for the next person or for their next endeavor, for their next lesson. So nothing is for sure. Nothing is definite. The only thing that's definite and for sure is math. Math never changes. 1+1 is going to always be 2. Everything else, variables, and all that other stuff. So to say a person's never going to change, it's up to them. Life changes you. Either you change or you get changed, but they got to want it at some point. That's how I see it.
I had a
Hold
quick.
on. Real quick. Everybody mute up. Shan is part of the panel. He's in the chat. He's also in the military. He said, genius now, son. You can change people, but it's a science to it. You changed when you went through boot camp.
What did I actually change though? Like, I don't think I changed in boot camp. I was the same kid after I got out. Like, I went in playing basketball, happy go lucky. Only thing is, I iron my clothes more. But that's not a change. That's just something I had to do. I had to adapt. But when I got out of the military, I wear sweats every day because I don't want to iron. So you can adapt, but I'm still the same 18-year-old person, just with a little bit more knowledge. That's all it is. And when you know better, you do better. So it's not that the military changed me. I changed me. So as I gained knowledge, I adapted that and I applied that to my everyday life. you can't be held responsible for things you don't know. But once you know, then it's your responsibility to apply that knowledge. So I can't say you can change me. They tell you all day in boot camp, don't talk online. They turn their head, what you doing? You talking to your mans in them. They say, hey, you going to a port, don't go to this club, you can get in trouble. What you do? Oh, we going. Because you do what you want to do. They didn't change me. There's no fear, there's no still. But once you know that, okay, this may have certain repercussions that I might not want, you make better decisions. So I can't say the military changed me. I changed me based on the knowledge that I received from that. So, and I get it, you people up here, like you can change somebody, but then you see them do what they want to do in the end because that's what pleases them. So did you really change them or did they change for the time being for their convenience?
I had a question. Jeans, did you say that you could change a hoe into a housewife? Or did I misunderstand that?
I don't think you can change. I think that people can change if they want to change. You can't change them. You can educate a female on her choices that she make, and you can ask her why she's doing it. Once you discover why they're making a choice, and if you can provide some kind of insights on them, they may not want that life. Then it could be trauma while they're a hoe. If you can address that trauma, they may not want to live that no more. It could be something. Everybody.
Walk me through this conversation that you would have with this lady that you know is
the way us men, we out there slinging and banging, and then we settle down while a woman can't do the same thing.
No, that's not what I'm asking. I'm asking you, you said you would have a conversation with her.
Yeah, you
know what I'm saying? How would that conversation look?
Like you meet a female and you hear she out there, she doing whatever she's doing, but you like that enough to have relations for. You ask her, why are you doing what you're doing? Depending on her answer, you provide feedback. Like, you don't have to do that. What's the reason? If it's trauma related, you try to address the trauma so the trauma can change. Once that trauma is gone, she doesn't have to use that as a coping mechanism. If it's something because I just didn't find the right man, whatever, okay. What's the right man? What are you looking for in a man? Whatever. If you happen to be that person, why would she need to keep being a hoe?
So you would spend time with her knowing that she is one?
It's not about me. It's about people. And then, everybody got a pass.
Listen, I know. I'm asking you specifically based on what it is that you're saying.
If that was somebody I liked, I would, because it's my choice. So if she had a pass and I met her and she was...
No, this is not her past. This is what she's doing currently.
If it's not today, and I'm with her right now, she's doing it right there, it's her past. Everything before today is her past. So if I meet at that point and she's not doing that, and she decides, and I'm talking, I'm like, yo, look, you don't got to do that no more. And she decides not to do it, then she don't do it. But if that's what she wants to keep doing, then I'm not the person for her. But yes, if I felt like I liked the woman and she was that kind of woman, yes, I would deal with her. And I would ask her why she's doing it. If the answers are acceptable or something she's willing to change, then we can go forward. If there's not something she wants to change, that's on her. Then she can go her way. Like I said, a person has to want to change. I can't change nobody. She has to want to change. I can educate you. I can point out what you should be doing or what I think you should be doing. And you can choose to do that or not. And if you choose to do that, then cool. But if not, that's your choice. But people have to want to change. I can't change you, but people can change. That's like saying if you used to be a murderer and then you go to jail and then you say you reform, like, nah, you still a murderer, so you should stay in jail.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but the premise of you can't turn a hoe into a housewife, the context is saying that this is what she currently is. You said it yourself. You can't change anyone, right?
But she can change herself.
So the statement is accurate.
So if you
let me finish what I'm saying. So it's all right. So the statement is accurate when it says that you can't change a hoe into a housewife, right? You can't, right? You can't change anybody. They have to want to change. That's why I was asking you, what would that look like if you're having a conversation with her? Like, she would have to want to change. Like, you're not going to be able to do anything to it to make that be something different. And then you say that you would, if she was currently one prior to the time that she met you. So at noon she was one, but at 12:01 she's not no more. And then you're gonna talk to her about making sure that she changed. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is something I would suggest that if you found out, that should have been your red flag. There should not have been a conversation about, that she was a hoe, and then you saying, I like you so much, so I want to be a part of your life and you're a part of mine, right? That doesn't really make sense, right? You shouldn't like somebody that much that you're willing to accept the trauma that's about to come along with that, which we just talked about. Ricky alluded to it as well, that if you're having a lot of, even men and women, if you have a lot of bodies, that's going to be influential to you later on. You know what I'm saying? So that's my take. I was just curious to what you was thinking.
I mean, and that's all good, and I get it. I'm sure everybody's not going to say that as me, because just everybody. I used to think like that. You can't change no hoe into a housewife, but you can influence all types of change. Knowledge influences everything. Once you know better, you make better choices. And if it was due to lack of education, due to lack of love, those are easy things you can provide for somebody to help them change. Those are easy. It doesn't cost you nothing. You can love somebody, and I'm not even saying love them to be with them. Just provide some kind of safe space for them. Like, you don't have to sell your body. You don't have to be out here fucking and ducking.
But the goal is to be with them.
I mean,
G is my question is, how do you know that she wants to be saved? And
you
I
don't
don't
know.
think
You don't.
and with that being said, I think it's safer to not save her. Project
It's
Pat told
safer
you
not
that.
to walk through the project.
Project
She
Pat
to the
said,
street.
"Don't save her. She don't want to be saved." You're assuming that
I
she
mean,
wants to be saved.
then we're assuming that she doesn't want to be saved.
This is also we there's a quote in the Icebreaker that said, or you can be a slave to your own desires. This is your desire, right? Maybe if we are patient, we find someone that we like just as much who doesn't have these problems, right?
Okay.
But instead, we're saying, well, maybe I can fix her, right? Make her
It's not a
wholesome. Make
we,
her
King. It's not a we. That's
okay. Maybe
James that
you
said that.
better. My
I
bad,
didn't
humble
say
dad.
I can fix anything. What I said was, if I met somebody and I like this person, and she happened to be a whore, Jezebel, harlot, whatever word you want to use, one of those women of the night walkers, whatever, and I say, okay, I like you. Why are you doing this? And she says, well, I do this because such and such. Like, maybe if we change this, you wouldn't have to do that. Now, the ball is on her court at that time. I'm not making you do nothing. I'm just providing information for you to make an educated decision on why you're doing it. Now, if she decides that she wants to still live that life, I don't have to be with her. But what I'm saying is that
Still hit though.
so if she wants to change, I'm willing to change with her. I'm willing to go through that road with her if that's something I wanted. But it has to be something I wanted. I'm not out there just looking for whores, and I have daughters. That's not my cup of tea.
All right.
I'm just
All
saying.
right. So with that being said, with the original statement, men grooming the type of wife he wants, you liked her so much you started loving her at that point, to the point you are thinking that she may be a lifetime companion. Things have gone
Maybe.
too far, in my opinion. Now it's gotten out of hand because you were just picking up a streetwalker in the beginning. Now you're ready to get married. The nature of which she's so good at what she does. Now she's got you emotionally. You know what I'm saying? Things have gone too far at that point. And now you're saying, I found you as this because I was looking for you when I was trying to find a streetwalker that night. Now that I am ready to settle down because I'm emotionally invested in you, I want you to be my personal streetwalker at this point. I want you to be committed to just me. Now I want you to come off of the streets, make yourself right. Because make yourself right, because you say she has to make a decision. This is what I'm hopeful
I think
for.
y'all fast tracking this. I think nobody has a conversation like you pick up a chick one day and say, yeah, we're going to get married tomorrow. I'm going to fix you. I'm sure it takes more interaction than that one interaction right there to even come to a decision to where you may want to even invest in the change. So you would have had to already invest some time if you're already considering that you're going to put that into her head, like maybe you should change, or maybe this could be changed. It's not going to happen
She's
like, oh, damn, you put it
she's
on me
not
and I love
investing. She's not investing time.
it.
She's not investing time. She's going to work. You're paying for that time. She's on the clock.
That's all assumption. My thing is this: as people, not even men and women, as people, we pick and choose when change and forgiveness and stuff like that is okay. When it's something that is frowned upon or that doesn't affect us, nah, it ain't gonna change. Leave them to the wayside. But if it's something like, oh, that brother could change. That brother should sell drugs. He can get a job. Give him a job. He should sell drugs. We're more forgiving to that because it doesn't sound as bad as somebody being a whore.
No,
It used to mean he used to do it though. If he's actively hustling, that's what he wants to be doing. unless he tells us otherwise.
I can't get a job. What do you say? I'm hustling because nobody want to hire me. Would you hire him?
I might. Why not? It just
Because he's a
depends.
drug dealer. Why would you hire a drug dealer?
It just depends.
What does the change depend on?
It depends on whether or not I feel like I know and can trust this person. You're giving me a hypothetical about a drug dealer. If I have a relationship with this drug dealer, it could be my cousin, it could be my friend, it could be my best friend, who knows? But I don't know just that I'll go find me a drug dealer and say,
But
hey,
these
can
are
I
all
give you a, can I,
hypotheticals we're speaking on.
well, wait a second. I'm just saying, I'm not, this is how we went looking for a streetwalker. I'm not going to go looking for a drug dealer and saying, hey, can I hire you? Absolutely not, sir. That doesn't
So
make any sense to me. There are
when
people
we
who are
say
going to
whole time
apply for a
housewife,
job, but I'm going to bypass the people who want to work and apply for a job to go find me a drug dealer and say, will you put your drugs down and come work for me? No,
so my question is
absolutely not.
this: when we say a hoe into a housewife, are we meaning like loose
She is
women
a hoe.
hoes?
She's hoeing. She's
That's what I'm referring.
actively
Like when
hoeing.
we say, so when we say hoe, or do you mean prostitute? Because prostitute is something different. That's a transactional sex. Whores in my hood, how we call whores is loose women, a woman that's fucking everybody. So when I say you can't turn a hoe into a housewife, are you meaning a loose woman into a housewife or a prostitute?
Both.
Both.
It's not
We
the
started.
same.
We wait a second. In my book, a hoe is what you described, and a hoe that's a hoe for money is still a hoe. They're both hoes. It's a hoe for money and a hoe without a hoe for free. It don't matter. The compensation doesn't matter. Hoeing for money or hoeing for free. So let's just put that right there. You're saying
It does
you
matter
know.
though. If you're fucking,
Hey,
if you're
don't
a sex
derail the
worker,
conversation,
my
bro.
bad. If you're a sex worker, right? Meaning you're doing this for money. That is your
I don't even
occupation.
think we're talking about sex workers. We just talking about women that are loose, also
All right
known as
then.
hoes,
So you mean a loose
also known
woman?
as buzz downs. Like
Thank you.
they
That's what I'm getting
right,
at, right? So
right.
if she's a loose woman,
But there are some men that refer to them as hoes. I mean,
then I
they
agree with
have
that.
right. Okay, so then come on,
So
let's
I
keep it
don't think
moving.
it's like I think we lump them in. So I feel like a loose woman cannot be loose at some point in life. They might be tired of it. Like I don't want to be loose no more, and I'm like whatever. But somebody that's selling a joint, that's their money maker. Like that's different. And I'm not speaking to those. If you want to go, that's your thing. Go ahead, do your thing.
No,
I'm
we
talking
ain't
about
talking about prostitutes. Let's just keep it all prostitutes. Let's just keep on about the
all right, yeah.
hoes and whether you're trying to save them or not. I think that's what
Nah, I
we're trying to
mean, I don't
figure
even
out.
call it saving. Like I said, if I met a female
Well,
and I liked
but giving
her,
them another chance, giving them another opportunity to redeem
yeah,
themselves in life.
that's normal things. I give people deserve a chance. Everybody deserves a chance at something.
But
That's how I feel.
I guess if you know this, then should you take the risk or not?
That's a personal choice for everybody. I can't say you shouldn't or should do it. Everybody has a personal choice of what they should do or not based on what they want. So
You
I can't say you should or you shouldn't because who am I? I'm not the end all be all saying, oh, you should do this. Because then there's why. You can't give a why answer. Not a legit fact. You can't. You know, can give you your opinion and why you feel, but that's based on your own personal experiences and values. So
What advice would you give what advice would you give to your son or your daughter in the same scenario?
make
Since
positive
everybody has
decisions.
their own mind.
I tell my daughter or my son, make positive decisions based on your intentions. Weigh the go, the pros and the cons. And if you feel like this is worth your time and effort, you do that. Be safe, be healthy. They're grown people at that point. They're making that kind of decision. That's all I could do is tell them that. Educate yourself, make the proper decision, use your brain, whatever. And make your decisions intentional. Don't do it on a what if. If this is what you want to endeavor, just know these can be the cons. Be prepared for whatever consequences. That's what I would tell my kids or tell anybody that would ask me that kind of question.
Okay.
You choosing at the end of the day.
I don't know why it's making that sound. What is that from your end? Hey, Genius, just mute in between when people talk because I think that's coming from your end. But at the end of the day, man, I get what he's saying as far as people change, but you have to protect your peace, and you have to assess whether that woman can be a problem later. And I think that's what we teaching right now is recognize them red flags. The same way that women talk about it, about recognizing red flags when it comes to men, we should be having that talk too. And if you get any indication that you out walking and she checking other guys out or something like that, or she wound up telling you she done fucked 50 people last year, then you have to look into that. It's like, man, she just told me she fucked 50 people. I know it was in the past, but is this something that I want to deal with? Could this be problematic later on? And then sometimes you just got to just cut your losses and not even go too deep into it because of the risk of it. So I think that's what we basically saying. We're not saying people can't change, but when it comes to women, and everybody has a base, but because of upbringings, experiences, and so forth, some people just can't change. You'll be draining yourself trying to make somebody change. Imagine somebody like you trying to prove a point to somebody and you trying to get them to understand something, they just can't get it. There are some women that are out there like that that just can't, they just not gonna change. And there's nothing you can do about it. But there's plenty of women that's out there that you can date outside of them. I mean, I don't think you have to really
I don't
prove
disagree with y'all.
Yeah.
Just to be for the record, I don't disagree with y'all. I don't feel any of y'all are wrong.
But we got to be careful. But we got to be careful what we putting out there because I'd rather be on the safe side. I always had this little median line I got. You want to be above or you want to be under it? I'd rather be above. I don't want to take the chance. I don't care what it is. Because to me, like, women have to prove themselves to be special. Because, I mean, can no woman show me no titty, no ass, none of that shit. That I don't care about none of that. You have to really prove yourself to me in order for me to be able to give you the opportunity, the chance. So that's how men should be thinking. That's the message that we should be pushing. There's nothing wrong with pushing that message. It's rather to be safe. It's rather to go ahead and protect yourself, protect your peace, protect your future, protect your legacy, all of the above instead of taking that risk. Because if you decide to go into it and becomes problematic and then you wind up having a child and now y'all at odds and the child is suffering, we're not going to be able to build a better community. So men have to make better decisions on the front end. It's our responsibility to make decisions. 9 times out of 10, you mess with that woman, she ain't going to tell you to put a condom on. You got to put the condom on. If you guys just tuning in, welcome to King Talk. Make sure you guys get them likes up. Also subscribe to the channel. We got one more topic before we get to the main event. And Ricky, somebody shouted you out with this one. I'm pretty sure you've seen it. But former NFL player star Ricky Williams, not this Ricky Williams, takes his wife's last name to create relationship balance. What are your thoughts about that? About a man taking a woman's last name?
Ain't nothing sacred no more. That's what I think about it. Come on, for what? Balance for what? What? Is this your king? Ladies and gentlemen, is this your king? The simplest thing, look, the easiest thing for a woman to do, besides have a ring on her finger, is to take your last name. What's the issue? Is a woman are you that insecure in your spot as a wife that you got what? And what's wrong with him? Like, you got your daddy's name. You just gonna kill your daddy name off, huh? You just gonna knock it off the box, huh? That shit weird. They weird out in these streets, man. That's all I got to say. These people weird out here, man. God dang, man. Hey, whatever float this boat, man. Whatever float this boat, bro.
And what are your thoughts about it, Rambo?
So my opinion on that is, like, me, I didn't see a lot of marriage growing up and stuff like that. So, you know, I'm a little on the outside of it, but obviously we know that's something sacred to a man is for the woman to have his last name. So with that being said, I don't know his reason. Is this gonna might be a little off topic? Is she a white woman? Oh nah, he out of pocket. He out of pocket right there. I'm gonna be straightforward with that one. He out of pocket for that. But yeah, man. My last name is dominant for me, so she got to take that. No ifs, whats, and buts about it.
Please explain to me why it mattered based on race. Then you gave a definitive answer as opposed to just giving one in the beginning.
Because, like I said, it might be a little off topic, but I just feel like as black men, and we all see with black men and entertainment, sports, rappers, getting white women and stuff like that, to each his own. You can have whatever your preference is. But I think we're in the era of everything being a new trend. So like now you have the women proposing. Now you got the women forcing their, I don't know if she forced the last name upon him and stuff like that, but we're just in the world of different trends where everybody want to be so different. And me, just as a black man, I'm like, point and blank, number one, I'm not marrying a white woman. And then secondly, I'm not taking nobody else's last name. Like, it's just not happening for me.
The question still remains.
Mm-hmm.
Why did it matter if she was white or black for you to give a definitive answer?
Because, man, it just don't sit right with me, man, personally.
When she was black, you like, aha, yeah.
If she was
I'm
black,
rolling with that.
if she was black, the name might be similar. Like, you know what I mean? What's this white woman's last name?
What?
So let me get this right. Okay. Yeah. So if his last name is Williams, yeah, and her last name was like, I don't know, Wilson, you be like, hey, I can rock with that. Nah, is that what you're saying?
I might be, man. I'm
It's a no-go for me.
Beta. That's what it, man.
This should be a no-go for any man that got testosterone in his sack, bro. This should be a no. This to me is like, it's number two. Number one is your girl getting down on one knee and proposing to you, bro. No.
So is it shocking for y'all?
Yes, it's shocking for me.
Yeah. I just say we're in a world of like these new trends and stuff like that. Everybody wants to do something.
No, we got to stand strong, man. We got to stand strong.
I agree.
It's not shocking to me.
It's not shocking to me though,
because it's him. Ricky Williams been do like weird stuff. That's why I wasn't shocked. Like, because he's been weird. This might not the first new weird thing he did. So when he did, I'm like, oh, well, that's Ricky Williams. It wasn't no shock to me. As far as the whole name thing, because I don't know his reasoning behind it, but because he's done other weird stuff before, it's kind of hard for me to really have an opinion on it because it could be shock value. He may want to be relevant again. I don't know. He may not like his family, and he may just say, you know what, forget y'all. I'm doing it to spite y'all. I'm gonna take this woman's last name. I don't know. Maybe she paying all his bills, and maybe she feel like he trying to honor. I don't know. But Ricky Williams has been weird since he got caught smoking that Chiba in all the whatever Miami team played for. So when he did it, when I saw it was him, I was like, oh, I'm not surprised because Ricky Williams does weird stuff. So that's what it was. But as to me, would I do it? No, unless I had some very definite reason that I felt like I didn't want my last name. I got a weird last name anyway. And some people may feel like, hey, these last names ain't ours anyway. Nobody from our ancestors have last names like Williams and Smith and Johnson and stuff like that. So he may feel like that. I don't know. But the fact that, like he said, he married a white woman, that can't be the case because you got a white wife. So, I don't know. But it's really
okay. I'm going to tell you my workaround. Can you mute up real quick, Genius? I'm going to tell you my workaround. If I didn't like my last name, then I'm going to change my last name. And then then she'll just get the new name. But I'm not gonna ever take a woman's name. I just can't see where that's happening. I just can't see where that's appropriate. If you're taking her last name, then it's making me think, what else you doing? Or what else are you allowing her to do?
Like, how did that conversation even come to existence? You know what?
That's what I was thinking.
I'm thinking, you know, Ricky Williams is such a common name. You should take my last. How did this come up, bro? You know what? Go ahead, take her last name. Give me my name, bro.
Ricky Williams don't be sober, man. That's what you gotta understand, man. He don't be sober. So when he do this kind of wild stuff, you gotta think, was he in the right state of mind? Because that's what I'm thinking. Like, you know, she heard Winston while he was high.
It was in enough state of mind for it to be the news.
Right. He ain't look. You ain't your name, bro. Don't change it, Rick. Ricky, the Williams has been revoked. I'm revoking it on the Williams lineage. I'm taking it back along with your black card. Fuck out of here, bro.
I want to throw something else in there too. What about the hyphen? Rambo and Jeans. How you guys feel about that? Are you guys cool with that too?
One offense. I mean, like, I'm not with it. I'm not against it.
But
the children I believe that no matter what, the children should have the father's last name. Like at the end of the day, that's what's important, the legacy. The hyphen, I think that's a compromise. A lot of men do it. It's a compromise. A lot of women do it, but the kids there's no negotiating. My children will have my last name no matter what, and their children will have their last name because that's how your legacy carries on through your children. You might get a divorce. Okay, she's going to get a new last name anyway if you don't stay married, but your children stay your children. So that's what's important. Your children should have your last name. The wife might not be permanent, unfortunately.
My last name.
Trying to figure out which one of that is y'all. It got to be Genius or Rambo. I don't know.
Nah, my last name ain't moving. It's what it is. Ain't a conversation about it.
Safe. I'm messing with you. Anybody else want to chime in on this brother taking the last name, or just in general?
I would even rather he just didn't give a reason. When he says to create relationship balance, what does that even mean? Are you imbalanced if you don't
I agree with that.
name?
If he did, he should have just said, "I did it, so what? I did what I did." You could probably respect him more, but to give balance, give off some real Ricky Williams vibes again. He's like, okay, more witness. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was some more up under that. I ain't gonna bring it up. I'm gonna just keep it moving. If you guys are just tuning in, welcome to King Talking the Lapeef Network. Make sure you guys get them likes up. I've been hearing the likes are down. That is so unfortunate right now, especially in this time. Let's get the likes up. Let's take a moment and get the likes up, family. Take a moment right now. Let's get the likes up. I see we got 900 people in here. We only have 548. Just did a refresh. So everybody take a moment right now, get the likes up. And while you guys are doing that, we are live in Atlanta, August the 5th and 6th, 2-day event. It's going to be epic. Make sure you guys get your tickets. We do still have some early bird specials before the show. At least I saw. I'm not sure how many are left. We do got some VIP, a few of them left, and we also had a general admission. It's a 2-day event. So Friday and Saturday, make sure you guys fly down Thursday. These flights been kind of shaky. So if you catch a late flight on a midday flight on Friday, 9 times out of 10, you're going to miss the show. So I would suggest getting the earliest flight on Friday. Usually it's a 6 o'clock flight. Get that. If not, then fly in Thursday night. It's Atlanta, so I'm pretty sure you'll be able to find something to do. Then you'll be there in time and won't miss Friday or Saturday. So get your tickets. Shout out to the sponsor, Teege Hanley. Make sure you guys fill a Teege. That link is pinned. No, that one's not pinned. That's in the description. So fill a Teege. Go ahead and click that link. Get 30% off along with a free gift. Moving right on to the main event. What you guys been waiting for. Dr. Umar Johnson says Black women gave their best years to men who didn't deserve it. I'm going to go ahead and play the video. And if you guys want to go back, it's at the 41-minute, 33-second mark. So I'm going to go ahead and share the screen right now and play that.
Let me tell you what separates white women from valued by the way she looked. Now we know teenage girls, they into that. It's a growing phase, right? They're young, they're beautiful. They're going to be beautiful for the next 10, 15, 20 years. Okay? A 21-year-old, she'll get away with that for good 10 years. Maybe.
Make sure we get the likes up, family. Get the likes up.
Be even 20, right? But if you're 35, you're not getting away with that for 20 years. So why even enter into that type of relationship? Why even do it to yourself? Why even do it for yourself? Now, another problem Black women have.
Here it is, y'all. Here it is. As Wayne said, pay attention.
And I know I'm going to upset some of my sisters when I say this. Another problem that Black women have, and I know I'm going to upset some of my sisters when I say this, but I'm going to keep it real. Because when you read the For Sisters Only book, I'm going to keep it real.
It's a book called. Is that a real book? Or is that something you just made up? I don't know. Okay. All right.
Stop hoeing around all through your 20s. Stop hoeing around all through your 30s. You give your 20s to the street Negroes. You give your 30s to the pretty boys. They use you up, dog you out. Now you're in your 40s and nobody's jumping to marry your ass. And so now you're saying it ain't no good black men. No, no, no. There's plenty of good black men. The problem is you gave your best years to men who didn't deserve it.
Damn. That was deep. I had played it back. We're going to talk about it.
Problem is you gave your best years to men who didn't deserve it. And now you see your biological clock is ticking and your beauty clock. See, you got a biological clock, how long you can have those babies, and you got a beauty clock, how long you going to be looking good. A biological clock, how long you going to have them babies, and a beauty clock, how long you going to be looking good. And guess what? When you hit those 40s, don't get me wrong, black don't crack, but everybody declines.
All right, you guys heard the context. So I know Humble Dad said he couldn't get the whole context of the preacher. There's no excuses with this, Humble Dad. You heard it in its entirety.
Can I go?
Yeah, you can go ahead. Go ahead.
This man is a charlatan. He's a ruse, right? A swindler. School been being built for 15 years, still ain't got no gym in it. Now, all of a sudden, the Godfather, Kevin Samuels, move off the scene. Here he come, being a mix between Derrick Jackson and Kevin Samuels. What's going on with this world, man? Sad state of affairs. Sad state of affairs, my chat. Sad state of affairs. But he right, God damn it.
Did you hear what I said?
But he right. Even from a mouth of a liar, sometimes you get the truth. This is the game, right? This is the game that ladies play. Y'all give it up to the F boys, and the swagger jackers early, right? Go have a baby by them, right? Then the dude that come along, again, he chose you, right? He chose you. He chose you, right? But y'all don't know, because y'all got their bodies and y'all don't want to believe what really happens, right? That again, that the men y'all be with stay with you, a little bit of them. Plus you looking his kids in the face, but then y'all want to treat that man that's there worse than y'all treated better. Y'all want to treat him worse than the man that left you and wouldn't take care of you or his own seeds. But then y'all expect the dudes that's sitting there that's even willing to give you a chance, even to give you the opportunity to help you in your life. But y'all want to give him problems. He wasn't man enough for me. Right? All the while comparing that man to, because that one dude gave you that tingly feeling.
Oh my God.
But then y'all gonna sit up there and dog these dudes out here who actually genuinely trying to take you and all your baggage on. But I know, right? It's our fault. It's our fault, right? You know why, B?
Nope.
You know why, Trill? Why? Because we choosing, right? We the men. We supposed to be responsible at the end of the day, right? It's our job to ask the questions. So again, if it's our job to bear the responsibility, why the fuck can't y'all fall in line? That's all I got.
Everybody's waiting on that. They're like, is he done? What's going on, Rio? What you got on this? The Humble Dad.
I don't know if it's a one size fit all, but he definitely described the experience of some women. Um, he can always be more responsible about his approach to things, and he tends to embellish and mislead, and it's a lot of things with the person whose words that came from. However, I think there's something to be said about that. I think in your 20s you may make irresponsible decisions to begin with. I don't think it's just women. People, you know, make irresponsible decisions in their younger years. Whether or not women in their 30s are attracted to pretty boys, as he said, I don't know. That might be him speaking from personal experience. You know what I mean? I can't take something like that and make that a fact. I need more, right? And then we're saying that in their 40s, they're almost settling and eager to be married. Um, well, I think that the clock is ticking at that point. However, that's not everybody, So I think that women who aren't married to into their 40s, I think we're assuming that there was some sort of mistake that they've made, so to speak, in their choice in men. If we're to say that, I'm willing to entertain the thought of that. Now, what mistakes? I don't know, but that was my first reaction to what he said. Um, Ideally, we're supposed to be the choosers. We're supposed to be the hunters. So to put all of that responsibility on them, I don't know. Maybe there's a certain type of men who are picking them, right? And then why are you attracting who you're attracting, right? I never had a woman pick me and I just went. I don't know. I don't know what that's like, right? At the end of the day, I'm the hunter, right? So once again, he can be challenged in a whole lot of ways in what he said. He's putting way too much responsibility on women about who they ended up with. Nah, we went and got them, bro. In most cases, women come take me. Come on, I didn't even sound right putting that together. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, maybe just women be more cognizant of what you're attracting. There's a reason for it. That's my take, Jr.
Well, I would say, I don't know. The word that comes to mind is code switching with Dr. Umar, because I've known him to come at dudes all the time and be very defensive for women. That's what I've known since I've watched him. But he does have a level of truth to what he's saying. But he made it as a general statement, and so I would say that I can see his premise in which he says that uh, maybe he wasted the 20s away, right, by choosing the wrong men. I can't really talk about the 30s, but like King Rio said, we all seem to make some bad decisions in our 20s, and sometimes it's relationships. You know what I'm saying? I was just fortunate enough to get married when I was like 20 or 27, right? But before that, you know what I'm saying? I would have said that I was a good dude, but I was still doing what I did. You know what I'm saying? So uh, his premise makes somewhat of sense, but I really think it's just for him, he's just trying to grab attention because nobody's talked about him for a little bit. And so now he's reached into somebody else's bag to try to see if he can get some of their coins.
Yeah, I think it's a situation, man, where young women are just attracted to toxicity, man. Attracted to savagery. Attracted to men that just don't give too much about them. That's just honest. We could sit here and paint it however we want to paint. In terms of him, I know better with us, but in terms of him, you can paint it however you want to paint it. But that's just what it is. I say it all the time. Like every future started off as a Russell Wilson, and what I mean by that is every man, because again, we are taught, men are raised on how to treat women, taught how to treat women. Women are raised on what they expect from men. That's a fact. So when we growing up, it's like, okay, you treat the girl good, you do this to her, you be honest, you be, faithful, one woman, man, you do this, you do that. And then you go out into that real world and try to, act that out, and you get looked over when you're younger. It's what it is, right? And every man, I'm sure on this panel, every man in the chat can identify with the fact that I tried that at one point and it didn't quite work. And then I tried the other way. And I had more women after me than I ever have in my life. So it's just unfortunate, but it goes back to what I've been saying all live stream. Age is important here. And then when you're in your 20s, or if you want a young girl or 20s or 19, whatever the case may be, a bit of toxicity is going to go a long way in that regard. Now, when they hit about 30, that's why I kind of disagree with them at the whole pretty boy angle. I don't think women 30 plus are really too concerned with a pretty boy at that point. I think at that point, like, they start clicking because now they looking around and my homegirl is getting married and I've been a bridesmaid at 6 weddings and I ain't found nothing serious. So it's like, okay, my time clock is ticking. Let me try to find something now. Once they hit about 31, 32, somewhere around there. And then at that point, they are actively trying. But at that point, they also probably got a kid or two by them same toxic niggas that we was talking about that they was choosing in their 20s. Because at the end of the day, they do choose. Sure, men can hunt all we want. But a woman's going to choose who she wants to be with. That's just what it is. So, yes, they are choosing the type of men that they choose and expecting grown man behavior out of niggas that's just toxic. And then in the process of doing that, you're racking up kids, you're racking up weight. You done gained 40, 50, 60 pounds dealing with this man. You got 2, 3 kids by this man. And then when you hit your 30s, 31, and this man done dropped your ass like a bad habit and he on to the next chick, now you looking back for that dude who'd have been solid the whole time. Dude that ain't was nobody got time for that. Curving the nigga the whole time. That dude that you put in the friend zone who was super solid. I wish I could just find me a man that was more like you. And this nigga right in front of you.
Facts.
That nigga is who you try to reach back and get. But now that man got to buy you off the clearance rack because you're not in your prime no more. That's just the reality of how this shit goes, man.
I don't want to ruin our friendship.
Buy you off the clearance rack?
off the clearance rack. Because when you're in your prime, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You at the front of that aisle. Like when you first walk in the mall, you boom right there at the display on the end caps is where you at. 20, 25, no kids, nice little shape, whatever the case may be. Like that's where you at then. But when the good dude finally gets you at 32, 33, your ass 100 pounds heavier.
You're at the back of the store.
You at the back of the store. Big ass yellow tag.
Sign just ain't right.
All sales
you gotta
are
find
final.
The size because they ain't even want to size them right. Yeah.
All sales are final. No return policy on these items. Yes, that's you.
Item is used comes with cackling. You know what I'm saying? God damn, boy, it's a cold game out here, boy.
but that's just what it is. For like most women, you know what I'm saying? Now, again, there are exceptions, and I salute to the men who find those exceptions. Chicks that have a bit of maturity about themselves. Chicks that's more in line with their foundational goals. That know who they are, and then you can kind of build with those. But most chicks are similar to what he said, and that's just what it is. And good dudes got to suffer. Good dudes got to buy those type of women off of the clearance rack. So whereas the savages, we didn't already had her when she was top prime, ran through already. There you go. It's unfortunate, but that's the game.
Yo, I like how this went because all of these topics played into this one. Like what he said, what he did was it was shock value. Like my man King said, you can't put everybody in that one basket. It does happen more often than not. You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. But it boils down to a lot of other things I think that he didn't address. Like we got these households sometimes, women teaching their daughters you don't need no man and whatever. So they think they don't need no man, so they go for the superficial stuff. They go for what they want. They give their body away, and they keep giving their body away. And then what Trill said, every Future started out as a Russell Wilson. What it is that chicks don't want Future. They want a Russell Wilson to act like Future. They trying to, they want the best of both worlds. It don't be like that, So all of this comes like changing, molding and stuff. They think that, they got because, they got the power. They feel like, they sex is going to change a man, whatever. Babies don't keep men. Sex don't keep men. And you can't keep playing that game with men. And you get to a certain age, don't get me wrong, there's a market out there for you. There's going to be a man that want to take care of you and your kids. But for the most part, it's not going to happen. Because you got them extra kids, you got them extra baby fathers, them extra bills, them extra headaches. And you got to take that in consideration. But if your goal is not to get married, I don't advocate for that. But at the end of the day, you can't do what you do and expect different results. You can't expect to get the cream of the crop when you gave away your most precious thing. So I feel like for a woman, the most precious thing you can give a man It's three things. It's your womb, your heart, and kids. That's the three most things. If you've given away two of those already, what makes you more special than somebody else that hasn't done that? So you can't just give that stuff away all willy-nilly. Then when you get older, like, you know what? Is you marketing as gently used, but most likely you got like 80,000 miles in speedometer. Nobody want to buy that. Not at full price, not even at half price. So what he said was kind of true. He did it for shock value. He did, he sell it. People want to talk about it, but it's all good. I mean, I don't agree, but I don't disagree. Like, there was some truth in what he said. He played it right as far as the verbiage.
I think that statement, sex doesn't keep men, is accurate. The reason why I think it's accurate, especially when I think back to my 20s, is a woman could have chose me all she wanted. That don't mean I was choosing her back. I have sex with her. What do that mean? And then they think that, okay, a baby popped up or whatever. That doesn't mean that he was yours. He was with who he wanted to be with. You know what I mean? Like that happens, right? And so we gotta sometimes have women take some accountability for the toxic situation that they're in, right? You choosing men, that means you after this man. You know what I'm saying? You're after this man. If this man wants you, he's gonna be after you. Just because you're after him don't mean he's gonna stop being who he's after. He could be after several. You know what I'm saying? We got to be cognizant and recognize that this is how the game go. If you're gonna be after a man and you decide which one you picking, and he has not picked you back, you are not together. That's why you should leave that in his lap to pick you. Just like when it's time to get married, he should be the one getting on one knee, not you. Stop trying to force the issue. Stop trying to force the relationship. You know what I'm saying? That's part of the problem.
I'd never accept a proposal from a woman because I feel like if a woman had to propose, I mean, he ain't want you anyway. Like, if you got to propose to me, that means I had no intention on ever asking you.
Right.
So
So are dudes saying yes? Are these dudes that are getting proposed to saying yes?
I mean, some dudes like to be kept. Those are different kind of men, so I can't really speak on that. But for the most part, I can't see that happening because I feel like if you have to ask me, that means I had no intentions on ever asking you. So what are we doing? Like, nah, that means you trying to push the issue like my man said. So I need to walk away because that's not something I want to be a part of if you proposing to me. Nah, that's not going to happen. Not with it.
Bro, you know what's wild? That a lot of them dudes are saying yeah, but they just doing it to buy just a little bit more time. That's what it is. But if you look at how many like chicks who proposed to their man and they actually got married, that number ain't that high. But a lot of dudes will say yeah because I don't want to embarrass you in front of all these people or whatever. But I'm still gonna have your ass engaged for the next 6-7 years until I find the woman that I really want to be with. That's the reality of this shit.
Damn, sure, these men savages, huh?
So my guy would embarrass himself to save her embarrassment.
Well, he's not really gonna be that embarrassed for real at the end of the day. Because I mean, even if he say yeah, I mean, again, like dudes ain't gonna look at him like too crazy. We might be like, damn, I can't believe she proposed. But as far as him saying yeah, if he would have, we ain't gonna judge him too bad because a lot of us gonna understand the reasoning for why he did what he did. Could you imagine if she dropped down to that knee and he said, nah, man, I'm cool. You know what I mean? Like it's
respect that way more, Trill. Come on, boss. You would respect that way more.
That's just real though. But I mean, but again, would I do it again? I would probably say yeah. And then in the car, I'd be like, look, man, this shit ain't nah.
Nope.
Because again,
some dudes
I don't
think they
believe
fake
in
pimps,
embarrassing
man.
nobody.
They think they pimps and players, so they might be like, oh, I'm a player. She proposed to me. I'm a ride on that, but nah. I just can't do it.
Same way the same way I would stop my wife from taking out the garbage is the same way I would stop her if she went on one knee. What the fuck are you doing? What are you doing? Nah, you don't do that. Nah. What you touching?
Come on.
What you touching that lawnmower for? What are you doing? Nah. No, bro. You stop. No. No. I'm not gonna even let her embarrass herself. Like, what are you doing? You gotta think of the mentality of the woman, right? Where she at mentally to go out, buy a ring, set up an occasion to get down on one knee. Nah,
It's all
bro.
Keisha Cole fault. She the first one to do it, man.
And Rick, some of these niggas actually really do. They stand there and then they put that shock look on their face. They bend their wrists back and spread their fingers out like a female, until she slides the ring on their finger. Like it's the most feminine shit you'd ever want to see. And the fact that the woman sees no issue with this, obviously she's in this position, so she's not seeing a lot. But still, there's nothing about this that looks okay. Nothing manly about that situation.
All right, y'all. I see some people in the back. We got about 15 minutes left. So when you guys come up, make sure you keep it brief because we only got 15 minutes left. I want to give the people in the back the opportunity. There will be no self-promotion of your YouTube channel. None of that Cash App. No promotion whatsoever. Just get straight to your point and make room for everybody else. So I'm going to get through these super chats. So have your stuff ready by the time I get done with these super chats. Kelly said, I believe a woman needs to create a safe space for a man to speak his mind unjudged. Wig beard salesman said, everyone in chatting on the panel. My name is Bill, and I sell the best wig beards in town. Ask Humble Dad. Call me. Humble Dad, you know anything about this?
Not at all, bro.
Okay.
He's trying to be funny.
Hit the like button. Hit the like button. $2 super chat. Yeah, hit the like button, man. You guys are watching, hit the like button. Yes, I sell the diaper beard wigs too. So yeah. King Talk deserves a super chat and a like. I agree. Lioness, shout out to you. Appreciate the support. Dr. Faye has 2 baby mamas and a fake school. I think we broke that down a little bit. Kelly again says, that's not what he's saying. He's not saying change a hoe into a housewife. He's saying if you have a woman you love, you can refine her into what you want her to be. A little bit of clarification, different perspective on it. Shout out to my guy, Malevolent Elephant, $100. Women need competition anxiety to get right and know they can easily be replaced. Being a man on your purpose mitigates much of this behavior. It works. Family, let's get the super chats up. I agree. Shout out to you, Mr. Elephant. Appreciate the support. $1.99 super chat from Scott. Thank you. Saz1 Fountain says, you're kind of be hypocritical when you would mold a young girl that is prone to cheat. A lady of the night can change like a young girl can be a wife. What's your thoughts, Trill? So you
I mean, I would agree, but again, my thoughts are that people don't change. So that's another conversation. So she kind of made my point. Whoever that was kind of made my point for me. But I don't really believe people change. If I'm gonna be honest, I think people are who they are in terms of how they code it. Now people can, put on a certain persona to get me through the situation. But who they are is who they are. Those urges are gonna always be there. It's the same thing as like a drug addict. Yeah, he might be sober for 20 years, sure. But that urge is still there. So he's still a drug addict at the end of the day. He's just been able to, keep himself away from temptation somewhat or whatever. But the urge is there. And as long as the urge is there, that's how you code it. That's how you wired. That's who you are. Especially in terms of like a chick that's promiscuous or whatever the case may be. Cause I tell you what, because I heard one of y'all say on the panel, like you provide that safe space for and do this, do that, and the third. But who a person is not, who they are when shit is ideal. When shit breaks down, who do they revert back to? And that's why I feel the way I feel.
All right. Ricky Williams is taking her last name because when they are in groups, she would be left out because of who he is. So to make her comfortable in a relationship balance, he's taking her name. So a little bit of clarification. The guys look like they still don't agree. That's a personal problem, looks like. Just passing the collection plate for Dr. R. Williams. Appreciate the $2 super chat. Thank you. Travor's Lee, 499. By the time women is 35, 90% of her eggs are gone. It will be considered a high risk pregnancy. That is true. I know the older you get, women. Well, pregnancy, from my understanding, is a miracle itself. So a woman can die anytime. So, but the older you do get, that risk becomes even higher than what it already is. So just understand. Yeah, I ain't going to go there. But yeah, it's a high risk all around. Right trail gain weight and still walk around talking about I'm a bad bee. Stomach looking like balled up homework. There you go. Lapeef Network, can I come up on the panel and challenge Ricky on something? Sure, you can. If you can get through. I did see it. The back room was full, so you might not be able to get the opportunity to come up. But, we only got about 15 minutes, 12 minutes, something like that. These guys off back to their regular lives. Still low key, $21, $10 support. Stay dope, fellas, and keep coming. 100 says. Last bit of super chats right now. We'll read some other ones if they come through. Appreciate all the support. Thank you, guys. Hit that like button. You don't have to super chat. Just hit the like button, and I'm cool with that. All right, guest. Again, when you come up, keep it brief. No self-promotion. No self-promotion whatsoever. So I'm going to go ahead and start bringing you guys up. And when I start making sounds like, that means you've been talking too long. So if you haven't picked up on that, that's my cue. It's like, go ahead and wrap it up. J1, what's going on, brother? How you doing?
Yo, respect everybody on the panel. Respect you, JR. First off, second off, we all know as men that would never happen. It would never happen. Ain't no chick.
What you talking about? What would never happen?
Like, yo, if you messing with somebody and you with a woman that you with, I don't think she would ever. Me personally, it would never happen. She would know that's a no go. No way, no how. You ain't doing that. First off, I think it's disrespectful. Honestly, I'm like, yo, I'm the man. First of all, you know who I am. Like, you gonna get on one knee and give me a ring. First off, I'm not gonna say yes just to say yes. I'm like, whoa, what we doing? Hold on. Before you put that knee on the ground, let's have a talk to the side real quick. We're not doing this like this. You know what I mean? Like, men do that. You know what I mean? I don't think any woman that I would be dealing with or be in a relationship with long enough for us to be feeling like, we think each other is the one for each other would do that. You know what I mean? That's just how I feel on it. You know what I mean? It wouldn't be no situation, no way. But you feel like, yo, I'm gonna go get a ring, get on one knee, and it's just hilarious to me. I'm just laughing about it because I don't think it would ever happen. Just me personally, in a relationship. But I mean, to say yes, honestly, to the fellas, like, the relationship probably would be over. It would be over for real, because after that, where we go after that? What I'm gonna say, yeah, let's do it, and then have you put a ring on my finger, and I'm gonna hold it up and go, that don't even sound plausible. You know what I'm saying?
Nope. Hey, post it on your Facebook. I said yes.
What we doing? Hey, as men, what we doing out here?
He said yes. That's what it was. He said yes.
Ooh la la. Who said yes? That don't even make sense. That'd probably be, I ain't gonna front, that sound like a nightmare, JR. That would be, I would wake up in cold sweat. I would be like, I would look at her in the bed like, hey, we gotta talk real quick. We gotta have a conversation. Just to let you know, that's a no-go. That's just how I feel on it. You know what I mean? Respect to y'all, all that good stuff. But I don't see it. I don't see that ever happening in the relationship that I'm in. Ever. I'm shocked by it. I'm shocked by it to see it happen. I've seen it on the internet before, and as men, we just see something and we just shake our head and just be like, to each his own. But in my man in a relationship, I don't see it happen.
I got you. Yeah. I don't see it happening. Typically, I think women are desperate at that moment. They're not really seeing things clearly. And I think the guy 9 times out of 10 might realize that. So I can't see some guys. If it does happen, we don't too much hear about it.
I mean, desperate, like, I mean, if you're in a relationship, you know, you giving her everything she needs to feel like, you know, she's comfortable in that relationship, you know, she'll be waiting on it. Like, I don't understand how like she will force your hand like that. Like, why would you do that to somebody? That's like, I mean, old women give eventually an ultimatum, but that's like the ultimate ultimatum. Like, you got a ring? So what? What you got? Diamonds, studded ring for me? Like, what do you mean? What, carrots or something like that to give me like on one knee? Like, what's good? Like, ow.
Yeah, I got you. All right. I appreciate you, J1, man. I got to keep it moving. I'm trying to keep my commitment with getting these guys off at a decent time. So I appreciate you, sir. Thanks for your perspective.
Layers of respect, yo.
All right, no doubt. Hey, Trill, Humble Dad, and Ricky. Rio, I hear you say it, so I'm not going to say it. But is it just me, or do you get a little triggered when you hear it like, I feel? Is it like, do you feel a certain? Because I mean, just being in this space, I didn't really realize how much of a thing it was until I got here. So if I catch myself about to say it, I say no, I don't feel. This is what we should do. I gotta like self-correct myself. I don't know what it is, but when I hear people say it, it's just like it's kind of cringy now.
Feelings are very fleeting, bro. Feelings are very
yeah.
fleeting.
I
don't
think,
know. Like, is that toxic?
Yeah, probably a little bit.
Like a toxic trait. Okay.
Your feelings are not facts, man.
Okay, so like toxic masculinity. Okay, all right. Just trying
A little bit.
Just trying to get an
I don't know,
idea.
man. I never really paid that much attention to it, if I'm be honest. But I mean, I probably say it sometimes too, and not even realize it.
Yeah. Well, I've been hearing because every time, because the guys get criticized when they say I feel, because now you're speaking with emotion. So I don't know. I just think it's something interesting.
Now, if you say from my perspective, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a little different. You say from my perspective or like my experience. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, I get it. Now that you said it, because I say it a lot, but I see what you're saying. Like say, like in my opinion, and you know, from how I see it. But I guess people could take it as you debating with emotions. Some people do it. They leave logic out. It's all emotion sometimes. So I get it.
Yeah. I ever hear women when they're trying to express them. Oh, never mind. Should sound like Darth Vader.
I try to say I think. You know what I mean? In this society we have set up right now, I feel kind of leads to an argument that it's like two dogs chasing their tail in a circle, because the way you feel is the way you feel, and you're entitled to it. You can't argue a point on feelings, right? So I think this is what I think. And hey, it's just weird. Like people feel like they cats, and they.
I see you. I see what you did there.
We ain't gonna start that. No. We're trying to keep monetization going. We're not gonna do that.
It's too late already. We are in the yellow already. Straight from the beginning. You know what time it is. What's going on, Julio? Welcome to the show, brother. How you doing? What you got for us?
I'm doing well. Good to see y'all again. Man, I think what has to happen is this, man. Somebody said,
I think, oh, I feel.
Well, no. I said I think. I think what needs to happen is now. See, but I was going to say this. When you look at the statement, I feel, right? You can if you change the sentence to quote to comment on what was initially said, say I feel based on evidence that this needs to happen. Your feelings a man's feelings, quote unquote, could be and should be, I think, influenced by evidence, right? It's the same as I think Daniel Patrick Moynihan made a statement. He said, everyone is entitled to their own opinion, but you're not entitled to your own facts. Now, your opinion can be influenced based on data, based on analysis, statistics, all that kind of stuff, but to the statement that Dr. Umar Johnson made, he said women gave the best years to men that didn't deserve it. Well, okay. Ask yourself why they did that. Ask yourself, what is the one thing that women, to quote the Godfather, what has been demonstrated over and over again is that the thing that makes women happy are relationships. And I think that one of the things we have to acknowledge is that many men probably promised these women marriage, but then they made all these great fancified promises. They sold them a dream, but then harsh reality smacked them in the face, and it was like, oh, wait a minute. I gave this kid, because he promised me this, because he promised me I'm gonna get married, I'm gonna do this. I gave him a kid. I gave him the benefits of marriage based on a faulty premise and a faulty promise. That in and of itself is what has led, which is what leads women to give men, in my opinion, their best years when the men didn't deserve it. And that is based on evidence. Just look at the out of wedlock birth rate in the Black community, standing at just now dipping to 69%. You're not going to tell me logically that all of those women just felt like giving those men children off the muscle. You know, you're not going to tell me none of those men promised those women, if you do this for me, you give me this child, you give me this, we're going to get married. No, I'm not. And I mean, the evidence doesn't suggest it. Go talk to these women, because I get to talk to lots of them every day. I get to talk to single mothers every day. And the vast majority of them say, I was promised one thing and he failed to deliver on the promise.
So here's a question. Are you so with that, are you saying that that's on men in terms of the reason why they choose these type of deals?
Absolutely. I'm telling you, men sold false dreams a lot of times, and that the overall responsibility has to be placed back on the men. You can't, if it's easily demonstrable that women look for men that they can admire, and men will put on, as you said, the best representative, right? Like you made a statement earlier, True. You said the drug addict is always going to still be a drug addict. That one, I don't necessarily agree with that one in full, because I've seen a drug addict is still addicted. You know, you may have, that person may at one point have had the urge to smoke. They may have had the urge to drink. But if they go through the rehab and they understand what was the true cause of that addiction, they're no longer an addict. If you don't want to touch something, that thing no longer has a bind over you. You know, and so I think that when you look at it from the perspective of men selling dreams to women, and this may be a larger conversation, but I think men have to be held responsible for that, because I don't think women, if left to their own devices, are going to deliberately choose to give men the benefits of marriage without the actual guarantee thereof. I don't think in man, without being promised something, or without that at least being offered to them, or there's something is putting that idea in the back of women's heads.
I think. Go ahead, True.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say I'll tell you what's putting it in the back of their head. Grandeur delusions in terms of what they expect in a man and what they want. Women have a habit of, and again, this is not me speaking from research. This is not me speaking from imagination.
Yeah, it's
me speaking from what I lived. I've literally told women in my past, hey, I'm not looking for anything serious right now. Okay. I'm just out here. I'm chasing my at that time, my playing ball. I'm focused on school. Right. Not really looking for a relationship right now. We're just gonna keep it real. And what women will do is, in those situations, they'll lie to themselves, to me and themselves, and say, okay, you know what? Me neither. But in the back of their head, they really are looking for something serious. And they feel like with enough time, if he experiences me, that I'll be able to convince him otherwise. So and it's a lot of those cases. So what that does is that now it's implanted in her head, I have a mission that I'm trying to accomplish here. And whatever it takes to accomplish said mission, whether it be having kids, like you spoke about earlier, or me flashing all of these wifely duties and capabilities, eventually I'm going to convince this man that I'm worthy of him changing his mind in terms of settling down. That's what happens more so than men just making blatant promises. Because I've never heard of men. Well, I'm gonna be honest. None of my guys or nobody I know have ever promised a woman marriage and didn't intend on actually following through with that. It's a situation whereas you like this man enough. And in reality, because women claim they have women's intuition, they claim that all the time. So what they'll do is they'll ignore said intuition because I like this man enough to where I want him to be like, I want this future to turn into a Russell Wilson. And I know he has the capability of doing it. I know he has the potential because he flashes capability here and there. So I know he can get there. So it's something that I can do to kind of push him to that area. That's what I'm going to do. And there's nothing wrong with seeing potential in somebody. But the problem is that if they don't have the urge to reach it, then that's delusion. And that's what I feel like happens more so than men actually making promises. Hey, I'm going to marry you one day. Just stick around and ride with me. Or, hey, if you have my kid, I'm going to get married to you. That don't even sound like a real conversation, if we're going to be honest.
Well, I mean, you would be surprised at you've heard one thing and I've heard something different. And so, I mean, you would definitely be surprised at how often that type of conversation actually is, again, hearing from women, hearing their side of the story that I get a chance to speak with. You'd be amazed at the amount of promises that they've been offered. Now, Grant, not saying what you're saying is wrong, but I think there's definitely two sides of it. Because again, you look at the out of wedlock birth rate standing at 69.1%. I don't know that women deliberately want to have let alone one child and be unwed, but multiple children by multiple different men without somebody offering something that they're not actually giving. It's kind of like the Pied Piper selling, you know what I'm saying? Selling drink. That's what I meant. It's
So
a very
how do you blame the man? I mean, at some point I can see what you're saying, right? That you would blame the man. But if we're saying that the woman allowed herself to be entered, right? How is it the man's fault that he entered her in the first place?
Why would you produce a child with a woman you wouldn't want to be in a relationship with?
That's not where we at, though.
No, that is where we're at, based on that question. Because you're talking about.
We got to start at the premise.
No,
the premise. Let me go real quick, Rick.
Yeah.
The premise is that before the child happens, right. There was a situation where they came together and they said there was a consensual sex. The woman is the one that said, yes, I'm willing to have sex with you.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So she should have done what? She should have been responsible for who it is that she slept with.
Yes.
Yes, I know that the dude should sleep with the woman that he thinks that is wifey or baby mama material, however you want to look at it, right? However, if sex is what is it? We continue to say this all the time. The woman controls the access to sex. You agree with that or disagree with that?
No, I agree with that 100%. They control the access to it. Yeah.
Okay, bet. So then you're saying that a guy has come along and he's so smooth and suave and he's promising these things. Now she's not saying anything to say that they're going to be married. That's what you're saying. That's what you're suggesting, right? Because what I say and what I do should be lining up, right? So if a woman is so naive as to think that because he said he's going to marry me, then then that is on her. That is not on him. Right. If you go with the numbers at 69.1%.
Yeah.
Right. You're giving a guesstimation based on the people that you talk to that with no baby daddy in the room to say that was a true or false statement. Right. So based on your own analysis, you would have to have had the man and the woman in the room to solidify what it is that she said was an accurate statement. Because as we've talked about before, women, not all, have an issue with being held accountable. So they will be able to say, okay, this is why I had a baby by this dude. He finagled me into thinking that he was going to marry me. Well, in actuality, a dude shows you what he is. Literally shows you what he is, because we're just that simple. Most dudes, I would go, if I had a percentage, 90% of dudes is not out here saying, I want to marry you, so go ahead and have a baby with me. Dudes don't want to be married. You know what I'm saying?
But there are more. Wait, there are 34% of black men are married. 1 in 4 black women get married. So there are more men that are married right now than women. So the statement men don't want to get married, I don't know that that's accurate based on the numbers. I don't know that that's accurate.
The numbers are false because you said men getting married more than women. Who are they marrying?
White women and black women and Asian women. Black men are black. The out of the interracial marriage rate has been increasing for the past 4 or 5 years.
You didn't clarify. That's why I asked, right?
No, but Kevin Samuels is giving those. It was quoted those same numbers years ago.
I understand, man. But let's make it to simplest. Let's get it to the simplest term.
Right.
Can you recognize game? And you looking kind of unfamiliar right now.
The truth of the matter is, this is the game, y'all. Everybody try to subvert it and perverse it to something that is. Men lie to women to get pussy.
Oh, why? You shouldn't have to lie to get no coochie though. Why?
Hold on, bro. Because it's the game. It doesn't stop. Just hold on. Listen, not respond. Just hold on, bro. Just hold on. Look, this is what we here for, bro. So if a man lied to do it, if he cheated to do it, it doesn't matter. The woman controls access to sex, right? It's as simple as, hold on. It's as simple as this. This is the equation everybody is looking for. Ladies, if you want a man, vet him correctly, choose correctly before you let him have sex. It's up to him to choose you to be in a relationship. It don't matter if you think he the best man in the world and y'all gonna go buy a house with a nice lawn and a picket fence and 2 dogs and 4 babies, bro. It doesn't matter until he chooses you and he moves correctly.
How does one vet a liar properly?
By
you just said men lie to get pussy. How does a woman vet a liar properly, church? Come on, man.
And who signed off on the dotted line to say church? Because the church man is the church.
Do it like this, because you watch his actions and men move a certain way. If that man telling you he doing something and he ain't doing it, you bounce. You don't give him no pussy. You don't give him no ass. You sit and you watch him and you watch his moves as a man. And if he's moving as a man, that's when a relationship will progress. Because that man, if he's interested in you and he's dating you intently, is going to present you with what he wants from you.
But we also just said previously that men wear the mask they want to wear. So premise one, men lie to get pussy. Premise two, ladies, if he lied, if he don't back it up with action, then you walk away. But premise three, if men lie to get pussy, that also means that they move in a way they will wear the mask long enough to get the draws. Then after they've accomplished the goal, they walk away. That's not and you talking about that's the game. That's what's wrong with us now. You just proved my point.
I mean, I look at it like this. I mean, instead of pointing fingers at whoever, I mean, at some point, we have to understand that we, at a certain age or a certain mindset, didn't respect sex. We want sex, we want the pleasure from it, but at some point, some people don't realize that babies come from sex, lifelong bonds come from sex, and everybody don't agree to that. I can't say you shouldn't have sex with somebody if you don't plan on having a baby by them, but at some point, the baby's always going to be the woman's baby. Women are going to be mothers, and it's harder for a woman to walk away from a child than it is for a man. So you can't say it's a woman's fault or a man's fault. You should be who you're letting inside your body, and men should also, because you can't play the she used me for child support game. You didn't have to have sex with her, but at the end of the day, women do control sex, whether they're coerced, whether they believe some stuff that they probably shouldn't believe, because some of these lies are very far-fetched, because you're not going to sit there and let me tell you I'm going to be for the rest of my life. And because would you go to a car dealership and say, hey, if you give me this car now, I promise you I'm going to give you $10,000 in due time, but just give me the car first. They're looking at you like you're stupid. So why would you look at a man promising these fake promises and think the same thing for a lifelong commitment of 18 years plus, lifelong? So pointing fingers is a waste, because there's fault on both sides, but at the end of the day, women control that access.
Which is the problem, bro. I think that women make decisions based on potential more so than the facts laid out in front of them. These dudes that be lying and quote unquote acting, this shit is not that difficult to decipher. If we give women credit on one end for having FBI capabilities in terms of doing research when they trying to catch their man cheating, right, why can't you use that same effort to investigate this motherfucker's resume? What I mean by that is how he moves. Like, again, people will say anything, but their actions is going to tell a different story. And even more so, their history is going to tell a different story, right? So a lot of these dudes that are getting these women pregnant, they already got kids. So when we get to talking about resume, how active is he in his kid's life? But you know what happens? A lot of women are not too concerned with that, right? Because I don't really care about what he's doing over there with his kid. I'm more concerned about what he's doing with me and the kid that I want to have with him. So the less active he is over there, the better, in my opinion, because I don't have to deal with it. That's how most women think, if we're going to be honest. So again, if you just take a quick look at these motherfuckers' resume and compare that to what they're saying, and if it's cognitive dissonance there, then you move left. If it's alignment there, then you move right. This shit becomes way more simplified, but women don't want to expend that type of energy to do the research beforehand that they want to do in terms of research when they feel like their man is cheating. Because when they feel like their man is cheating, okay, I'm going through phones, I'm calling homeboys, I'm calling this girl, I'm calling his sister, his mama, where was he at over here, this, that, and the third. Use that same energy on the front end, and you'll avoid most of the problems. Granted, but they don't do that. They make decisions based on, I like this man. And again, he's flashing small capabilities of shit that I could see in a long-term partner, even though they're not consistent, even though in terms of like when we talk, I'm typically the one initiating the conversation. Calling, texting, different, all that shit. Like who start like these type of questions is the questions women need to be asking themselves when they're trying to vet these men or see how serious they are. Like how much effort, how much initiative is he showing in terms of this relationship that we have? If we texting 10 times and I initiate 9 of them, what is that saying? But women don't see that.
They said, fuck it. We talking, we having these conversations, so we building towards something.
Mm-hmm.
That's how they view shit when they like somebody. So again, that's why I feel like a lot of the blame got to be on them because they not doing thorough enough research. That's just like if I go to buy a house and I run up and I see a nice house from the outside, I say, you know what? It's a nice ass house. How much is it? 450,000. All right, here, man. It's 450,000. I'm good. You not doing that. We gonna go research the market. We gonna go look, check every square inch of this motherfucker. We gonna compare the price to what we see around in surrounding neighborhoods, all type of shit. It's gonna be a lot of thorough research that we gonna do before we sign up for this 30-year note. So why you ain't doing that same research for somebody you plan to spend the rest of your life with? That's where the liability falls.
I think that what could be said in that instance, and I'll leave on this one. I think that considering how much pressure there is in the general society to have for women to have sex with men in a quick fashion, by the time that a woman has discovered the true nature of a man that she's now bonded with him. Man, that's just that seriously. I think that there has been plethoras of evidence to demonstrate that sex causes a woman naturally to bond to a man. And so I think that by the time he's shown his true colors, and because let's be honest, you don't conduct an investigation first until you feel a crime has been committed. So your point about women become great FBI investigators when they feel like they've been cheated on. Well, yeah, the instinct has been, something has been activated in them. You know, if everything's going hunky-dory, if everything's going good, if he's answering the phone when you call him, what's the point in doing an in-depth analysis into his background, into his resume? Because at face value, we're taught what? You trust people based on what they first present to you. You trust the initial representative, right? In a dating context. That's all I mean. But
I had one question for you. I just wanted you to clarify when you say that these women are giving men babies.
Mm-hmm.
So when we look at, I think we can all agree, women control the access to sex, right?
Mm-hmm.
Anytime you have sex with somebody, there's a possibility that a baby can be produced.
Yes.
We often talk about pussy like a surprise, right? There are certain situations where women want to have sex that first night too, right? Not all women are the same.
Mm-hmm.
With that being said, there are accidents that occur, right? And a woman then has a right to choose whether or not she wants to keep a baby. Didn't mean that's her man or it's her husband. When it's just someone's, long-term relationship, or if it's someone's married or whatever, okay, they plan something, okay, I got you. But when you're talking about babies that are created off of one night of sex, you already even knew this person. You know what I mean? What happens then? I mean, yeah, you're not gonna marry this woman. I don't know her. We see that. That also goes into your statistics. So therefore, when we say these women are giving men babies based off of false pretenses, how about some of the women are just being irresponsible? Maybe the men are too. So right, some, so for that portion, we got to make them accountable for that, and we got to stop rolling out these blanket statements, and
but to okay, anybody in this room, anybody on the panel familiar with Dr. Jordan Peterson?
Yes.
Okay, so do y'all remember the interview where he made the statement? He said two things. He said, if a woman doesn't choose you, she's right. And if you want a good woman, you have to step your game up, because you must understand, as men, the responsibility and the onus is always on you, because women carry the greater risk when it comes to sex, because they can produce a child. Did y'all see that podcast when he made that statement? That's why I'm saying the responsibility, yes, at the end of the day, sure, it should be 50-50. I give you that one. But from what I've understood and the way that I was raised and what I got to see, coming from a two-parent household, coming from a married household, still married to this day, we have to treat ourselves as overall ultimately more responsible, because if shit hits the fan and a child is produced, she and the state are gonna look to us to immediately provide funding and care for the kid. That's why I'm saying the one night stand things, we got to stop that. There's no reason that we should be producing children with women that we have one night stands with, even risking that.
That's why I don't understand though, homie. I agree with that statement, right? But I guess I'm very confused as to, if it's a one night stand, how do you put the onus on the dude? If you hold on, let me finish the question.
Go ahead.
Unless you know the question. Do you know what the question was?
How do you're gonna say, how do you put the onus on the dude if they both made the decision to lay down one another, right? If they both made the decision and the woman knows she carries a greater risk, how do you put the onus on the man?
No, not necessarily the greater risk. Well, I mean, she does carry the greater risk, but she
pregnancy,
also controls the access.
Yes.
So you're telling me because you literally moved the goalpost, right? So you're telling me day one on this one night stand that this dude has said, listen, I'm gonna give you the world. You know what I'm saying? I want to marry you. So I want you to carry this baby that I'm about to put inside of you. You know what I'm saying? And she's like, oh, I really appreciate that. So let's go ahead and go do this. That's what you're saying?
No, y'all brought up one night stands. I didn't.
Right. Well, you should have said, listen, you should that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about this other particular situation which is what I see most often as to these women are saying that they have been finagled into having a kid. Right.
Right. That was what I said initially.
All right. So you, that's what I'm saying. That's what you said. And that's the part that I was telling you, that the onus is the majority of the time is going to be on the woman because she controls access. If a dude is saying let me say, I think I can't think his name. I think I can't remember names right now, but someone said that you should be more concerned. I can't remember how he said it, but I'll put it to you like this. If the woman controls the access to sex, then and a baby is produced, it was on her. There's nothing that a man should be able to say that will get you out your drawers, okay? Unless you just want to, like that, you wanted to get out. You was just cool. You like that dude that much. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't that he just said something so Casanova like. She already knew that she wanted to get him to draw. You feel what I'm saying?
Not Casanova, Lord Jesus.
Okay. All right. So that's what I'm saying. So, but this is what I would ask as far as a part of the vetting when you talk to these women. Ask these women, how many children does the baby daddy have?
That's a good point. And I have asked that question. I have asked that question before.
Okay. So if you ask that question and she says more than one, and it's not just his, then you know that she capping about the fact that he told me he was gonna marry me.
For sure.
And because the majority of the dudes that are nutting off inside these women have multiple kids. And that's in your research that I'm sure you have
13% of black men are responsible for over 62% of that.
So I knew you knew that number, right?
13%.
So then
I ain't gonna count now just because I know the stat. I'm gonna tell the truth, Trail.
I respect that. I respect that.
I ain't gonna count y'all boys, man.
For sure. But that's what you were saying in the beginning, though.
No,
that you would put the more onus on the man.
Oh, for sure. That's
13% are impregnating 62% or having 62% of the kids. So you telling me that 13%, right? You tell me 13% of dudes are telling 62% that, listen, I'm gonna marry you.
They tell
if
them
you
something.
Just give me this baby. You see how your logic don't even line up?
No, I didn't say I said they're selling them some form of a promise. They telling them something. They telling them something in order to be able to clap them cheeks. They telling them something.
True. That's
logically it's got to be true. So you're telling me women are just so hold on. So you're telling me literally that women are just you're telling me women are just flat out just seeing somebody on the street automatically saying, all right, let's do this. And they're not asking him to display anything, not asking him to display any sort of a promise, nothing. You're telling me these women are just looking at dudes off the street and just like, come on.
Because why is 13% the number, bro? I don't think you know how to evaluate numbers. You know what I'm saying?
I'm very good with that.
You're emotionally attached to the women talking to you as opposed to using the logic that's presented.
Not at all. I don't tie up emotion when I talk to women because they're too emotional to their damn self.
Think about it. 13% though, bro. 13%. Okay.
What I'm saying is this. This is what I'm saying, bro. Yes, both parties are responsible, but the truth of the matter is that woman is responsible for her body and her womb and that baby she will carry for an entire lifetime. Now, would the world be better if we all did it? That's a fact. That's why I say do it right from the first time. Right? I don't know if you ever seen us on here, bro. That's why you vet your mate appropriately, bro, so you don't have to go through this rigmarole. Right. But for us to sit up there and keep saying like, oh, dudes don't like, they gonna lie, bro. I'm just being honest about the situation. They're gonna lie. Girls are gonna give it up to people they shouldn't supposed to because it happens. That's just the truth.
But shouldn't we? But I
13%
guess
lied, though.
my point is men. Should we have to lie to get some ass? It's kind of that's kind of the point I was trying to make. That was what
Not
it really
at
was.
all.
That's all, and that's all I meant. And that's all I meant.
Not at
That's
all.
that's literally all I meant. Because as a man's man, I shouldn't have to lie to no woman to get some draws, bro. I shouldn't have to. You go. The thing is, you should respect me enough, and I should have enough self-respect to know that I can walk up to any woman and tell her what it is, and she gonna go for it. And if you got a lot of woman to get some pussy, that is not the woman you need to be trying to talk to. Go where you ain't got to lie. Stick to your pay grade. Stick to your whatever your caliber of woman is. That way you ain't gotta lie. You can tell her I'm Donnell from Popeyes, and she gonna accept that chicken and that biscuit, and she gonna have the taco waiting for you at the spot. You know what I'm saying? If you got it like that, operate within your particular ism. That's what I'm saying. The game is people try to play as if they want to keep up with the Joneses. Listen, every man is not qualified to pull a Halle Berry. You're gonna have to lie your ass off.
I disagree. I don't disagree.
You know what I'm saying? But that's all I was getting at. And I ain't gonna take up too much more time.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, that woman choose you to let hit. So you gotta be correct on your choice.
For sure. I ain't gonna for sure.
Hey, Julio, Courtney Michelle said, can you bring up that stat that you're talking about?
Yes, I'm gonna have to go find it. I saw it on one of Kevin Samuel's streams. I'm gonna have to go. I think it was the Department of Labor Statistics that he pulled it from. I'm gonna find it and I'm gonna pull it back for y'all.
All right. Let me go ahead and push on, brother. I appreciate you calling.
Yes, sir.
Hey, be easy, God. Take care of yourself, man.
Sure.
All right. My fault, fellas. I know it went over.
Oh, you good, bro?
All right.
It's all good, man. I enjoyed it. I enjoy that type of back and forth, man.
You know I do.
Yeah.
Ladies,
shout to bro.
Box up. Just, man, close your legs, bro. Come on, man.
All right, let me go ahead and get to what's going on, Tim, brother? What you got for us?
Hey, how y'all doing this afternoon? This night? Basically, I'm just gonna say, like somebody on the panel said, women, from my experience, women like who they like. So you shouldn't have to, like, you can say you this, you can say you that. Women gonna like it. They're gonna like their pookies, whoever they like, they just gonna like. And it's not the responsibility of the man. Most of the time, they see the pookies, they see the futures, but that's who they like. And then they get pregnant or they get dogged out. They want to say, "Oh, he manipulated." No, that's the type of men who you like, and there's nothing wrong with that. And a lot of time, what get them out that type of guy they like, a lot of time, it's because of what, like, their age, or they see a guy that's financially stable, then they'll get out of what they like. But most of the time, women like who they like. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. They just that's to me, that's just
This is what it is, man.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
but that's it. I'm enjoying the conversation. That's all I
man,
have.
thank you, man. I definitely appreciate it, Tim. Thanks for the support, brother. You be easy.
Good, bro.
All right, we're gonna go to what's going on, Young Blood?
Hey, what's up? I'm not trying to take up too much time. I just wanted to address what Ricky said. So you said Dr. Umar is a scammer, and I've heard a lot of people kind of repeat that, and I just think it's kind of dangerous to play with, like the work this man is doing in the streets. Now, of course, obviously, I don't know everything about his life, but I've just kept up with like Instagram and just different things I've seen about him. I know he puts out books, and so I was just wondering, I guess how he's a scammer.
Because his actions, he take money from people for schools and other projects that never come to fruition.
So you haven't seen the properties that he bought with the donations?
Have you?
I have. Well, not in person, but
exactly. Thank you. Nice talking to you.
Oh, okay. I don't know what to say to that. Okay, well, Ricky, pretty much, I'm saying, you don't think that it's dangerous to assume that he's a scammer, because that's an assumption.
It's so I could say it's truth, or I could say it's my opinion. Either way, you can't argue me on it.
So you think the books he puts out are also a part of the scam?
I didn't say books. You said books. I didn't say books.
Yeah, no, I guess what I'm saying is it's kind of hard to believe that everything he speaks about and just he goes around speaking and just all of that, that is all just a scam. I guess that was my whole thing.
You're free to believe whatever you want to, young boy. I can't control your mind.
That's fair. All right, nice talking to you.
Peace to you, God. Have a great one.
Yeah.
I kind of Youngblood wanted to smoke, and Ricky said, "I'm just gonna stand my ground. It is what it is. It's how I feel." So I mean, people gonna have their opinions, man.
It's what I think. It's what I think.
Yeah. It's what he think. Nobody truly knows, but based off the information that you see, you're entitled to your opinion. So I guess you just gotta leave it where it's at. But don't fight for people you don't know. I mean, you don't know them. So
the proof is in the
pudding. That's true.
The proof is in the pudding. The pudding's still in the box. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
I feel you.
Okay. All right, young blood. Appreciate you, man. Thanks for calling in, man. Call in some more, man. If you see it, and you ain't got to just call up on King Talk. We got some other shows on the network too. All right.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
Take care of yourself, guy.
Yeah, you too.
All right. What's going on, brother? Good to see you again. I know I seen you on the political show.
What's up, JR?
What's going
hey, Trill, I love your point, bro. Your point was on point. But I think one thing that y'all haven't really, your point spoke on you using logic on how to vet and how you're supposed to vet, right? But in all honesty, we know that men are the ones that think with logic and females think with their emotions. So a lot of times, like when females, I hate to say it, when I was growing up, my mom used to always tell me, don't be thinking with your dick. You know what I mean? And most of the females I met, they thought with they cuckoos, so it was up to me to use logic in order to keep from getting myself into a situation that I didn't want to get into. But that's all I wanted to say about that. I'm not arguing because you made the greatest point, you and dude with the white headphones, y'all points was on points. But I'm just speaking of us as men, we think with logic. Most of the females I met, they don't start thinking logically till they like 27. By that time, they already got bodies. Okay. But okay, now I want to speak on the funny thing about women asking dude to marry them. Bro, when I tell you, man, my cousin, he's one of the toughest, most masculine people I know. But just because a person is tough and masculine, alpha male, however you want to look at it, don't mean that they don't have self-esteem issues. You know what I mean? So his girl actually asked him to marry him. And the nigga said yes, and I'm looking, you know what I mean? I ain't saying nothing about it. I mean, hey, what can I do but be happy for him, So I talked to him like a day later. I'm like, bro, why you say yes? And he's like, what you mean? I've always wanted to marry her. You know that, cuz. I'm like, yeah, I knew you wanted to marry her. Why didn't you never ask? And he was like, because I felt like she was going to reject me, like she never wanted to get married. So it was kind of weird hearing that he just didn't have the self-esteem to ask her. It just so happened she's like, nigga, I'm tired of waiting. So she asked him. I don't know if other stuff be like that or other situations be like that, but that was just weird. You know what I mean? I ain't trying to argue no points on that. But what I will contend with is when
So did they get married?
Yeah, they married. They've been together 10 years plus and happy. Like happiest relationship I ever seen in my life.
Hey, she a savage in the bedroom, boy. I'm telling you. Savage, boy.
But I also wanted to say, this is going back when I was growing up. Back when I was growing up, man, I was on the streets and shit. I had to go live with my Uncle Icy. You know what I mean? And I never knew his wife was a former hoe until I was like 14, and she set me down and she told me about this little girl that was chasing me around. And what she told me, I kind of looked at her like, what you mean the girl I'm with a hoe? And what you mean that you used to be a hoe? This woman cook for me. I watched this woman clean. I watched this woman run every errand this man said, do everything she was supposed to do. I never knew she was a hoe, you know what I mean? I was a kid, you know what I mean? I learned it, but that's not something I knew. So just to say a woman, a hoe can't be a housewife, that's a lie, because I done seen it. Not only my uncle, most of his friends. I've seen plenty of females that it's a lot of females out here that you don't know they body count, and they end up getting married and being the greatest wives ever, you know. But I don't know, to say a person can't change. That's like y'all telling me I can never start my own business. I'm gonna do what I do forever. You know what I mean? That's kind of crazy. But like, I don't know. It's like certain situations where, you know what I mean, like 80s, like 60s babies, 70s babies, 80s babies. It was all different because like it was a different mentality of man that was dealing with these women out here. You know what I mean? A lot of women nowadays, a lot of men nowadays can't deal with women when it comes to certain shit, all because there's certain bias here, certain bias there. At the end of the day, if a woman chooses you, she's gonna do what you tell her to do. Plain and simple.
I hear you.
Can I say something real quick before I
sure can? Go ahead.
It's crazy. I just ride with me for a second. Right? Women emotional. Hey, B, I need you to listen, bro. Women emotional, right? They can't control their feelings. They get real logical when they want to cheat on you and shit. They get real scientific when they know, okay, he get off at 4:30, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go see him at lunch at 12, you know what I'm saying? Let him know I'm going out to bingo, right? Right? They real logical, right? When they trying to sneak out the door, you know what I'm saying, with the furniture before you get home. They real logical then. Fuck out of here.
Bro, that's not logical, because if they was thinking logical, they wouldn't do anything to jeopardize what they really wanted. So that's not logical.
Hey, though, real quick though, because you know what I'm saying, we like to say that. We like to say men are logical, women are emotional. I think women are logical as well. Women lean on, you know, emotion when it's convenient for them to. And I present the example to you like this. Have you ever worked with a woman in business? Because a woman in business.
No, I don't. I speak on every day. I don't come from the same realm y'all do. I'm literally straight from the streets. That's why a lot of times y'all don't understand where I'm coming from. But go ahead and tell me about the business that you're trying to do. No, finish telling you.
Right. So okay. So just again, just to summarize it real quick, and then we're gonna get to something that you're a little more comfortable with. Business. Women are better than any man in business in terms of decision making. That's why most successful businesses, it's a lot of women that are really doing the tugging and pulling in terms of making decisions.
Hey, Trill, I was successful because just what you saying right now. It was women that pulled the strings that I couldn't pull. Women can go in the places I can't go. So you
right. So it's the same thing. So again, that's my point. To where women can be logical. Women are logical. But they lean on emotion when they want to lean on it, and that's what the issue is. Because again, just
you're
like
saying the same thing I said, Trill. That's what I said. That's what I said.
Right. But you gave them the pass for being emotional in terms of the research and shit like that.
Let me tell you something, bro. Not one time since I ever been on this panel coming to the Lapeef have anybody ever heard me give a woman a pass. Not what I said. I didn't give no woman no pass,
bro. This is what you said. You said that using my example. You used my example and said, you know what? Yeah, because in terms of like doing that pre-work, a lot of times, you know, men are the logical ones. You know what I'm saying? So it's easier for men to do that research on the front end. Women, they more emotional. You know, so that's why they get finessed the way they get. And what I'm telling you is, women are capable of being just as logical as men in terms of doing that research on the front end. They choose not to.
Yeah.
Out of again leaning on emotion when it's convenient.
So okay,
that's what I'm saying.
We're gonna go with your premise of what you're saying right now. So a woman is say for instance, me and you, we out kicking it. You look like Trill. I'm street. I'm all the way street. You know what I mean? A woman look at you, look at me. Look at you, look at me. Nigga, you clean cut, got your shit together. What you think she gonna do? Is that her logic or is that her emotions talking?
That's both, because she gonna make the logical decision in terms of her comparing us and comparing. Okay, what does my future look like? Okay, who probably make more money? Okay, who's more disciplined? Okay, who's gonna be more better father figure to them 2 kids I got at the crib? Like, it's a lot of logical decisions being made in that choice.
And look at what you just said. Who's gonna be the better father figure? So if she's thinking who's the best father figure, how is this stuff turning out like you saying it's turning out? These women ain't thinking about who's the best father figure when they first meet a man, or they wouldn't be fucking half these niggas they fucking real.
Right, and I agree. That's what I'm saying. They lean on emotion when it's convenient for them to, but they made the logical decision to pick who they picked. But they knew better than that. Again, we hear women say all the time, women's intuition is real. We just don't listen to it. So you made a choice not to listen to it, but in your head, you know the decision that you should have made because you made a logical comparison as to the type of man that will be best for me and the type of man that I just want to be with because he just seemed like a cool nigga. He fly, whatever the case may be, got status, got money. So I'm just gonna go this route. But I'm choosing to do it. I made the logical comparison before I made the decision, but I'm choosing to go this way.
To do
I'm
something
choosing
else.
not to listen to my
That means
intuition.
you're thinking with your coochie, not with logic.
All right, I got a question for you, brother. So on that same line of thought, when you said that your uncle and his friends all turned hoes into housewives,
No, most of them were pimps. See, that's it. See that.
That's what I was going to ask you. What were we missing there? Because I knew there had to be more information. Walk me through that.
You should have said that from the beginning, bro. That's a different
I
dynamic.
did say that from the beginning. Hold on, bro.
pimp.
Anybody in the chat, push one if you knew. Every time I'm talking, if I say something about my bro, I done came up here plenty of times, bro. I feel like you're trying to argue to be argued, bro.
No,
when I first came up, I said I didn't know my auntie was a hoe, and she did everything this man said.
Whatever, bro. You got it. You got it.
Truth. But
now
you gotta
get out of here. Now you mad? Come on, man.
Truth.
Are you serious right now?
Truth.
Argument out
Truth.
of
Hold on, Truth.
I'm sorry, bro. I ain't trying to argue. I'm gonna shut up, bro.
I understand that, but what you gotta understand is that some of these guys ain't never seen you. Some of these guys never seen you before. They don't know your story. And I'm gonna be honest. I wasn't aware of any of this either. So this is my first time hearing it. So you gotta be understanding to that. Some of these people don't know you. So if you leave out some,
I apologize.
So if you leave out some things,
but I don't know why. I don't know why bro going off. What's he going off for? If he just snapping on me for no reason. Like, what the fuck did I say to trigger you that bad for you to be like, fuck me? That shit crazy, bro.
Truth. Hold on,
bro. What are you talking about? You taking stuff personal when I ain't even make it personal. I just said, bro, hey, that's a different dynamic. I didn't know that. Then you start elevating. You expect me not to elevate.
Anytime you tell a man, nigga, you can go on with that. Come on, bro. We have an intelligent conversation. You ain't got to talk to me like that.
When did I say that, bro?
Truth.
As a man, God, when did I say that?
You just said that. You just said, no, you can go on with that and did me just like that, bro. I'm looking at you and listening to you. What are you talking about?
Bro, God, I don't know you from a can of paint. Why am I do that to you, bro? I talk with my hands. You assuming something because this is what you used to in your life with energy, my guy.
You right. You right.
Yeah.
Okay, so just so we make sure we putting out responsible messaging, as JR was saying before, I'm glad you added that context because I never seen you in my life. So now that you told me that they were pimps, that added some valuable context to the conversation when you made that statement that hoes can't be made into housewives.
Even in the chat, when I just said the same thing in the chat, bro, I said only pimps can turn hoes into housewives, bro.
And now they can't
like
see
I've been talking the same
we can't
stuff.
see the
Truth,
we can't see the chat, bro.
I apologize, man. I apologize. I really been waiting that long. I apologize. But literally, ask the people in the chat. I literally the same thing I'm saying to y'all, I had already talked about in the chat. It specifically says only a pimp can turn a hoe into a housewife. That's
like I said, bro, you got it, bro. I was just saying that's a whole different dynamic. And you know this, if you talking about, the game, it's a whole different dynamic than some squares out here that's out here trying to be in a relationship. You already know that, bro.
I know that they can't do it because that's the reason why they can't turn no hoe into the housewife. The only person that can turn a hoe into the housewife is the person they was hoeing for.
I got you. Yeah, it's understandable, man. Again, we just having conversations. Let's just have a conversation. But I appreciate you for the support, man, on this show and even on the other shows and the previous shows too. So thank you for calling in and have a good night.
Thanks, y'all.
It's all love, bro. For real, it's all love. No disrespect.
All right, last one. Jay Prince, I'm gonna bring you up, brother. Keep it brief. 2 minutes, Jay Prince. 2 minutes.
What up, Jay?
What up, Ricky? JR. Trill, my boy.
What up?
Humble Dad. What's up, y'all? Hey, I want to yield off Trill's point, what he made earlier. How can I put this? Okay. When he was talking about that women get with certain type of men who they're not supposed to be with. See, I think the problem is where a lot of men mess up, that a lot of these men was lied to of what they thought a woman, what type of man they thought a woman should want. And a lot of men geared their whole life in the form of I would say pleasing a woman, trying to please a woman, but not necessarily. But a lot of men thought, because they was taught to think that if you go to school, you get your education, if you do this and you do this, be a good gentleman, you don't break the law and all the other stuff, you won't get all the women. And from experience, these women done showed them differently. And so a lot of these men, they projected their beliefs or what they think a woman should be onto the woman. And they get upset when a woman showed them something totally different. Like, black women is not the only women that love bad boys. I was talking to a couple of other white women, other races of women. They love the bad boys of their groups. So now we got to ask ourselves, why do these women like these type of guys? What type of characteristics are these men exemplifying to impress these women? Whereas the man so-called that's doing everything that's by the book, why they not getting these type of women attention?
I think it's simple, bro. And just to I guess continue what you said, even those women in other races, they like bad boys from our races too. Let's just keep it real. Like I don't know if y'all ever been to college, but you play ball in college or you got any kind of status in college, they right there with you. But in terms of answering your last question, I think, in terms of how we raised you, right? We raised to be Russell Wilson. And then we get out here and realize that it's more successful. I get more women chasing me when I'm Future. So then we make that change. But again, it's just about understanding the concept that people want what they can't have. That's what it boils down to. There's value in scarcity. There's value in exclusivity. So you ain't necessarily got to teach us something to be toxic or be a savage, but you got to teach him that he has to approach women, especially at that age, with the mindset of he don't really need them. They are interchangeable to him. They are objects.
Look, can I ask you a question though, Trill?
Mm-hmm.
I believe that these women chooses these type of what they call pookies and ray-rays and thugs. One, because they're more familiar with them. You gotta keep in mind, when a black man, when welfare was implemented, all this other stuff, the black man left. It was the pookies who raised us and had more babies. So a lot of these pookies and pooquishas come from the same daddy and mama. A lot of these women, they got pookie uncles, pookie brothers, pookie cousins, and that's all they was brought up on. So when you talk about these nice guys and these conservative guys, they don't know nothing about them. And women tends to go to the men who they familiar with.
I'm gonna say
that. But just real quick though, you know what else? And I would agree with you if it wasn't true that most of these suburban girls type of bad boys, they gonna date the bad boy too. And they got a perfectly stand-up guy right there in their house, brother, stand-up guy, friend down the street who in the friend zone, stand-up guy, but they gonna date the thug too. So again, I think that plays a part in it. But I think, again, women just want that. Just again, it's like a toxic just aura. It's just energy. It's just
something about
like
drama. Something about drama. They look at these good guys like they boring, they lame, they don't got no swag. And then a lot of times they think with the good guys, women like to have fun every day. And whereas a good guy, he working a job, she gotta wait 2 weeks or she gotta go on vacation 2-3 times a year. And also women love men that take risks. A lot of women believe risk takers make champions. And then the sex. Mary J. Blige Mary J. Blige, Destiny Child, they all told you in them songs. I want a soldier. And then Mary J. Blige talking about she love her Mr. Wrong. So these women have been telling y'all, teaching y'all the game of what they really like. I mean, they would come on these platforms and talking about, yeah, I rock with the good guys and all that other stuff, but who they choose when they come home.
Hey man, it's like I'm gonna say it like this, bro. Keep y'all head on the swivel, man. Teach y'all sons correctly, man. You like I taught my sons, hey, look, a good man is this, but you know what I'm saying? But and ladies, this is what y'all asking for. I'm gonna tell y'all, I'm about to give y'all a secret. Man, we results driven. We results driven. Right? So if the market is asking for some, we gonna get a market what it want.
I think the good guys should turn their swag up. Don't be walking outside with no boots and t-shirts and some jeans and trying to talk all proper and using these big old educated words. A lot of times, I done seen to where these good professional smart guys, they done talk themselves out of pussy. Because a lot of times these women don't be understanding half of the shit that you be saying. You want to be seen smart, and you think you. I think the thing is these women don't look at these dudes like they keeping it real. Like a lot of these dudes, like, you know, always want to pretend like they just these gentlemen and all this other type of stuff. And whereas a guy like me or somebody that live my lifestyle, come from where I come from, they respect the realness. And when I walk up to a woman, I'm gonna tell her the truth. And somehow that turns women on instead of me want to pretend like I don't want the coochie and I want to really get to know her. No, the purpose of me even approaching this woman is for me to want some ass. And I'm not gonna lie about it.
That's the game, though. And like I said, that's the game. And everybody keep trying to sugarcoat it and put frosting on it when that's the whole reason he hollering at you anyway. The only thing a woman really have at the end of the day for a man that's handling her business is her femininity and her womb. That's it. But y'all, they give it up like it's old goat cheese and shit.
They really don't be just. I'm gonna keep it real. I heard a few men say that women give it up to who they really attracted to, because I done seen women, they'll give it up to this man but won't give it up to you. You know, it's all about that man. Like if these men got game, yeah, they're gonna give it up. But if you don't got no game, she not gonna give it up to you. You gotta have some type of attraction to these women to make that booty wet.
Yeah, or if we're gonna be honest, like most women won't admit this, but this is just a fact of nature. People make decisions based on what everybody else is interested in.
Yeah.
And that's why these type of dudes, quote unquote toxic, which I don't really believe is toxic in my opinion. I think it's just more rebellion. I'm gonna be who I am unapologetically, and if that means going against the system, then that's just what that means. But getting back to my point, I think it's, again, other women who they value influences who women value. Now, what I mean by that is that if you can have a dude who is a square, let's just say he is square, made good grades, whatever the case may be, but he is unapologetically him, and he done found a way to finesse to get the top cheerleader on the team or something, whatever like that. And now all these other women are seeing this top cheerleader, this popular girl, or whatever the case may be, interested in this man. And in their head, because women are in such competition with each other, another thing that they refuse to admit, but if you done been out here in these streets and you done been manipulating, you know what it is. They are in competition with each other. So it's like, if he can get her, I wonder how he did that. I want to go find out the reasoning. And I want to
get pussy on default.
Right. And I want to establish the fact that I'm on her level. So if I can talk to this dude that she talking to and she popular, whatever the case may be, then I'm popular. Then I'm on her level. So a lot of times it ain't even got nothing to do with the man. It got something to do with all the other women who interested in them. And that drives their decision making.
I absolutely 100% agree with you, because there's been times where, like, I don't approach, let's just say if I want this particular one, let's just say it's Beyonce and Brandy. Let's just say I want Brandy. But Brandy and Beyonce, they both friends. So if I want Brandy, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna come and holler at Beyonce and cheat on Beyonce with Brandy. You know, see, it's many little tricks you could. I'm just saying, it's like, I guess women love the game plan. They love a chase. They love, like, and also this might sound weird, but like my cousin them,
We gotta
they
start
fuck
bringing
me
the
up when they.
clothes. Gotta
All
start
right,
bringing the
they fuck
clothes.
me up when they say women like for them to be lied to. They like when you lie to them because when you lie to them, it's like a game to them. It's like a challenge. Now they want to figure out. They want to figure out your lie. So they'd be with you for 6 months, figuring out if you was lying about something or not. Right or wrong though, Trill. It seems like you've been around the block.
I don't know about that one, G. I
No,
don't know if I can stamp that one, but I
Been
feel
around the
everything
block.
else you were saying. I
Nobody
don't
try to
know
throw you,
about
try to
that
throw you
one,
under
G.
the bus, man.
You cannot
Oh, okay. You do got a girl, but
confirm
women
or
like to
deny
be like.
those.
I don't know. It's a challenge. Like this, what it is. And I'm gonna close out. I'm gonna leave.
This is crazy.
You a book, right? Men is the book. Women is the reader. If you give that woman everything in the beginning about you, when you to the point where you become predictable, she don't get bored with you easily. Whereas it's up to the man to make his book interesting for the reader. If you don't got nothing, you don't like. If you lived a plain Jane life, it's boring. Who want to watch? Who want to read something that's you could predict the next 10 chapters?
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Whereas this
Hey,
book
y'all
is
watch these TV
interesting as
shows all
hell.
the time with that stuff on it. You know what I'm
Huh?
saying? You know y'all watch these TV shows with that stuff on it all the time. You know how it's going to end.
Yeah, drama sells more than positivity.
That's what I'm saying, humble dad. Like
But
everybody
you already know how it's going to end. Like I don't even like Jay Prince. Are you trying to say?
came out here.
Yeah. Are you trying to be a productive light as it relates to relationships? Or are you just out here just trying to get pussy?
At the age I am now, I want to I'm trying to change. Get a woman, but I can't admit once I change for the good and then the better and all this other stuff, my pussy rate dropped. I got more pussy when I was out there in the streets. I got more pussy when I tell a woman that I got I got been in jail or been incarcerated on my resume than a job.
Oh my God.
Okay, well that makes sense though. Why would you want to have more pussy if you're trying to move towards a relationship?
I respect you right what I'm saying, but it seemed like it's more hard. It seemed like it's taking forever for me. Whereas back then, it didn't take me long at all to get a woman. Period.
Because your goals were different.
Yeah, my goals were different.
Ladies, keep your head on a swivel out here too. I keep it.
My goals were different, but
Okay,
maybe it take time. I got to have more patience to find that right one.
Listen, if you're just trying to have sex,
Hey,
you can do that. Come on.
Hey JP, I'm gonna set you up a session with Humble Dad. Humble Dad gonna be your marriage coach.
That'll be a bet. But you know what, Humble Dad?
No, I'm trying to stretch it out. I'm trying to stretch it out
for 5 years.
Okay. All right, I'm trying to stretch it out, JP. We gotta go get these guys off, man.
All right.
Yeah.
Much love to y'all though.
I appreciate it, Jay.
Yeah.
All right.
That's crazy.
Damn, let me go ahead and just read this couple.
Best show on the network. The best show on the network. What's wrong with y'all, man?
Dale says fancy word influence, mode change is all the same. To influence is to change, to mode is to change. A man in his purpose cause a shift of those in his presence. Appreciate that. Lee says women need to stop ignoring the red flags when they are dating and stop having unprotected sex. No woman has to be a single mother. There you go. Chemo light skin dude was virtual signaling for that. Cat, here you go. Prophecy to Savior, $10. Why does he not understand if 13% of black men are producing 62% of the children, then that means 87% of men are being responsible. The math not mathing. When JI gets tired of gas, he starts talking to agree with everything they say to get them off the panel. JR, just tell homie you got more gas to get to. I keep that in mind. Noted. This is King Talk, homie. This is King Talk. It's emotional. Homie is emotional. I read that wrong. It's too late. Ricky Will, dad touch with him with ESPN 30 for 30. What are you talking about?
Ricky talking about Ricky Williams, the running back.
Oh, okay.
That's why his mind is just all over the place.
Gotcha. Chemo, most women are attracted to dark, triad traits. That's why they always want to call me a narcissist. Most of them don't know what they're talking about. All right. $5 humble dad looking at Jay Prince shaking his head like, bro, what are you talking about? Say it ain't so, humble dad. I know you weren't doing that. And last super chat, JP, book in store soon. There you go. I think I missed I got everybody. Let me see. All right, y'all. It's definitely been a wrap. I'm gonna close out by telling you guys thank you. The panel, I appreciate you guys. Make sure you do follow these guys on their individual platforms. You know, Trill got Cruise Season, Ricky Williams, Boxing, Humble Dad does some great work over there with the dads. King Rio, you'll find him here on the Lapeef Network, and Rio gonna be down there in Atlanta. So shout out to Rio. Definitely gonna be on King Talk down there. Genius level. You see his IG right there, so make sure you guys check him out. And it's been a great one. We'll be live in Atlanta, August. I keep saying April. That's Houston. August 5th and the 6th, we will be in Atlanta. The Lapeef Experience takes over Atlanta. All right, y'all. We out. Make sure you guys get your tickets for Atlanta. That link is pinned to the top of the chat. Get your tickets for Atlanta.
Yes, sir.
Get your tickets to Atlanta. That link is pinned to the top of the chat. Get your tickets to Atlanta. You got your tickets, Brittany B? I see you, Stephen David. Appreciate you. Shout out to the greatest network ever, the Lapeef Network. If you haven't already, get them likes up, y'all. Get them likes up. I'm not trying to hear that, Brittany B. I see you, fancy. see you, bad boy. Appreciate you. Green Gang, I see you, Russell Sharp. Hit that like button if you haven't already. Let go. Working second shift or third shift, you be safe out there. Shout out to all the truck drivers. Make sure you guys feel a Teege. Shout out to the sponsor, Teege Hanley. Go ahead and cop that Teege.